All right. Good morning, or what's now? Good afternoon. I was just talking about morning and evening. Anything I know for what day it is. Hi, Rodney. Let me see. Hi, Jim. Hi, Marta. And hi, Alan. And let's see who else is coming in. Here comes Jackie. Everyone in. All right. So everyone head over to the chat. You know how Marta said Marta is here? That's the place. So good afternoon. Let's everyone give a little hey ho in the chat, please. Nice to see everyone. Okay.
Good afternoon.
What's that?
Good afternoon.
Thank you. All right. Yes. Oh, you're just saying hi. You guys know each other? Oh, you're just saying no, because it seemed like you're saying hi specifically to Jim, but everyone, hi. You don't see us yet, so hold on. Give me a second. I'm connecting to this one. Yeah, 1 second, 1 second. It's just that I can't connect at the same time. If I do this one first, then that's a problem. So I have to do this one second. So when I do this one second, then you guys don't see them till they are on. Anyway, it's coming. It's just that on this computer, I have to go with the link that I sent you guys. I have to go to my emails, go to that same link. Because if not, it takes over. And this has to be number 2. Okay. And video for the whole room. And here we go. Oh, I think I left the sound on. No, good. The co-host and no video. All right, can y'all see each other now? Give a big hey ho to everyone in the room. There we go. Perfect. All right, hi Jackie. Thanks for joining us. And Marta, who goes back and forth, back and forth. And everyone else who's always there. Oh, here comes Julie. All right. This is kind of fun. It works when I have people in both sides. It's a bit disconcerting. As I said, my evening class that I'm here from 5:30 to, no, from 4:45 to 8 p.m. or something like that. And I have one in person, one in person student, and everyone else is online. So it's kind of like, but that's how it is. A lot of people don't. Oh, there you go. It's my Photoshop class. Yeah. So, yeah, I have gone to that one. I have taken. Okay, so. Oh, I see your message now, Geraldine. Okay, but we've talked about it, so that's okay. All right. Okay, so today you guys had, this time you had homework, huh?
Yeah.
And I did some of mine. When you see my screen, you'll see that my stuff has been quite a bit handled. Not completely. I always have to leave downloads available because I need time on my downloads for this example. So I can't empty my downloads, or next time I come, I don't have down. Right now you'll see I have downloads from 2023, 2022. You know, I purposely leave them. That's because I'm the teacher. You shouldn't. Anything from 2023, 2022 should have gotten rid of. 2025, if it's still something you're using, but otherwise it's either, remember, into your documents folder or it's gone. So if it's temporary, it shouldn't be there if you downloaded it a year ago, right? So it's either old or necessary. Okay. That was, oh, here comes Angie. All right. Hi, Angie. Okay. So you had to empty out your downloads to put the stuff in. Let me hold on. I'm getting a message on this computer. You had to empty out your downloads and put your stuff in your, where? Documents folder. You had to do what with your trash? Check it really quickly in case, you know, in case you're making that, and then empty it out. And the good news is that if you empty it out now, today, right now, we're going to begin to organize stuff. And if you get rid of something, you won't have it lost amongst 250 other things that you had trashed in your long history. The trash, if you've gonna do give it a little check and you've emptied it out, it should be empty so that anything that lands in there today, it's easy to find if it was not supposed to be there. Does that make sense? So documents and trash, sorry, downloads and trash should be empty. Trash should be empty. Download should be empty-ish, right? As best as we can. How about desktop? What was the rule for desktop? Only what you can live without, right? So as much as possible, put stuff in your documents folder, but if there's something you really can't bring yourself to do it, just don't do it to that yet. And today we're going to talk about alternatives to those. And it could be that you can't bring yourself to get rid of all 20 of the things that are on your desktop because you don't know how else you'll ever find them and you left 20 things. Okay, that's where we're at. But if you move them all, that's where we're at. The whole point is that now we're going to focus on, first of all, who had any issues, any questions about all of that. And then we're going to open the documents folder and begin to actually work on that stuff. One big advantage for those of you who do have your documents in the cloud is that anything you had in your downloads wasn't accessible to you from away from your computer. But by having put it in the documents folder, you moved it from your computer to the documents folder. It went into the cloud. Okay. For those of you who leave things in the downloads and you work off of them, they are at risk with your computer together with all the people who have their things in their computer. And the only way to save that stuff would have been if you had had a time machine. Versus, this is just for the people who have their documents in the cloud, versus by moving them from downloads to the cloud, you basically have uploaded them to the cloud. Does that make sense? So it makes no difference if all your stuff is in the computer, but if your stuff is in the cloud, that's one advantage of the process. Okay. So yes, question time. So Julie's hand is up. Anyone else who has any questions about the process, what they did or didn't do, let me know. Okay, so I see two hands. Julia, go first, but I'm seeing two hands here next. So if anyone else at home raises their hands, you're after Gigi and Susie. All right, Julie.
Can I share my screen and show you? I worked on this the other day and I am stuck.
Yeah, and just to remind you guys, she's like done a lot of organizing over different classes that she's taken, and she was going into the details of like sub organizing, real detailed. So yeah. Okay.
Okay. I was trying to, organize, and can you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Okay. In my documents folder, I have a section for horses.
One second, and I'm going to make this even bigger for everyone who's here. I need to first move something else out of the way. Yolanda. Okay. Yeah. So
I have a category painting and art, but down below the horse paintings, when I move something from trash, the woman and mandolin, I tried to move it up under the painting and art and it won't move. What am I doing wrong?
Okay, so women and mandolin.
Right, this one, right?
Trying to move it where?
Up under the painting and art. It's not a horse. It's not a horse painting.
I know, but it is under painting and art. Go ahead and close. So you guys, right
See,
now,
I have.
Yeah, so horse paintings, when she opens it up, has, I assume, just horse paintings, right?
Right.
But everything else, go ahead and leave it there for a second. I'm going to draw something. No, leave it open. Okay. So anything that's in here will be kind of one step removed. So everything that I'm marking right now is inside painting and art. Now, anything that's inside of horse paintings is kind of 2 steps removed, which is just that. So that means that it was in the W. If you go down a little bit more, go ahead and scroll down to the W. All of these, see that? Women and mandolin, Yosemite, all of those are in And now you make this window a little bit bigger or something so you can see above it for this example, so we can see the whole thing bigger, taller, or yeah. So so now my my lines kind of have to, but see this line here is what's inside the paintings and art. This, keep going up a bit or scroll so I can have more stuff. Keep scroll, scroll, scroll. Yeah, there we go. Okay, stop there. And wait. Don't go too much further up. Come down a bit. I'm trying to get the horse paintings. Come down a bit. Okay. Ah, you're moving it a little bit. So my lines are off because you moved it a teensy bit. So don't move it. Don't move anything anymore. Let me clear my lines. Don't move anything. Okay. So that I can, okay. So this level here and thus there.
I don't see anything. Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah. I'm painting it right now.
Yeah.
Then this is the second level. Ah, sorry, that last line didn't do too well, but. And this is important, you guys, for everyone. Huh? This isn't just about her, so please pay attention. And this is there. Okay, so.
I thought
So hold on, don't move anything because that would, oh. Ah, why did that? Hold on, my lines disappeared. Oh, there they go. Okay. All right. So, the leftmost long.
I haven't
gradient-
touched anything.
No, that's fine. But do you see the pink lines that I made? Do you see pink lines? I do. Julie,
It's freezing. Maybe it's
you're
me.
freezing. Yeah. Do you see pink lines? Does everyone at
see-
home see the pink lines? Okay. The furthest leftmost one, that is a long one, that represents stuff that are in the main basic documents folder. Okay. So all of that is in the documents folder. And if you actually look in here, what's selected right now is the documents folder, right? And all these things that are in here in the documents folder. So anything that's inside of these is also in the documents folder, right? Makes sense. Then when you open one of the folders that's inside the documents folder, you see what's inside of it, which is all of this. And that's why if you look at women in mandolin, which is the one that you first asked about, oh, my pencil isn't
Down near the bottom. Yeah.
yeah, my pencil wasn't set up. Okay, so this one. So it's in that second level, meaning it's inside of this folder. Does that make sense? So everything that's in here, including horse paintings, horse paintings is inside of painting and art. But so is beach chair blue and tan. It's like you grabbed one folder and threw everything in it, but there's also one more little manila folder in there holding separated some other stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Hold on. No, she wants it. It's not a horse painting. She said she wanted it inside of painting and art. And I'm saying it is these W's here. So I'm going to make it bigger. Are inside of paintings and art. It's just that this is in the way because it's an H, right? So go ahead for a second now. Try to just click on, and it's hard because I don't see it. But if you were to collapse this little arrow of horse paintings and yeah, now, and let me go ahead and get rid of just that one little circle that I just did. So can you try to collapse the horse painting? You did. You collapsed the horse paintings. So now see that there's nothing left at this level that was the horse paintings because they're inside the horse paintings. So you go from D, A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, L,
Yeah, it's
W.
alphabetical. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So all of these are inside of paintings and art. Does that make sense?
Okay.
This is inside of paintings and art. and it holds only horse paintings. The question would be, inside of paintings and art, do you have like another thing, like landscapes, for example, which would go up parallel to horse paintings, and then anything that's a landscape would go into it, right? Or another one called animals. I don't know. I see a chickens there. And then you would have the chickens in there. And then you would have paintings and art, some loose ones that don't have a category, but then you'd have chickens, then you'd have animals, landscapes, and horse paintings. Does that make sense, you guys?
So I should make another blue folder, correct?
Yeah, so inside of paintings and art, you can make another group folder. So what would be the quickest way to do that is maybe something I'm going to teach you today. There's two ways. I'm going to show you one way, staying in the list mode. Because when you stay in the list mode, which is what we're looking at here, it's different than if you stay in the columns mode. And I'm going to tell you that the best way to create folders and subfolders is in the columns mode, not in the list mode. But just as a demo, since you're being so wonderfully patient here, I'm going to tell you how you would do it in the list mode, okay? And then when we stop, we'll go into the columns mode, and I'll show you how to do it in the columns mode. And you want to do that with us, Julie, since I know you're pretty good at directions? Just don't do anything before I tell you. Let me hear.
Somebody's talking.
Who's talking on the phone somewhere in the background? I can't tell. Whoever's talking on the phone or talking with someone, please mute yourselves. Okay, so pay attention, everyone, because this is the class. This isn't helping Julie, okay? This is the class. So she has a perfect example. First of all, do you mind collapsing the painting and art so we can see all of your different... Okay, so guys, this is all of her documents folder base level. In her documents folder, she has all of these folders. It says 28 items, so it's probably 25 folders and 3 loose items. You see that? So the first thing is paintings 8, 10, and 12. Are they also paintings that should maybe be in the paintings and art? If so, Julie, can you drag them in there?
Yeah,
They are.
it's not
Okay.
a-
So
yeah.
you can hit the space bar again. Oh, now you closed the space.
Sorry. Uh-oh.
Right. Go ahead and close that too, because it's a screenshot, and open your Finder window again, because you closed the Finder window. Yeah. Okay, move it over there, and now click on Documents. Okay. Why does your Finder window take you to Macintosh hard drive? Anyway, you make it a tad longer. Not so much. Yeah, a little bit longer down there. So now it's hard to tell before it finished, but now we can tell W, there's just one more there, right? You can tell that there's nothing else. Okay. So that paintings 008, right? It's okay. We get it. So grab that paintings 008 and just drag it a tiny bit up until it drops into the paintings and art. There we go. Let go. See how she let go quickly? I said let go quickly, and thus nothing changed. Now this time, grab paintings 10 and hover over paintings and art, and just hover, don't let go. See how it switched? Now let go, but look what happened. Because she hovered, now she's inside of paintings and art. You see the difference? Just because she held it without letting go. She's inside one of those folders. If you look down here, paintings 10 is inside of paintings and art, which is inside her documents. It's like she went one deeper by holding it, because she held it on for a little bit longer. Does that make sense? Like she was saying, knock, knock, let me in. So the computer went, okay, I'll let you in. And it opened up just paintings and art. See how we're not seeing all the rest of the stuff? So this is important, because if you're in list mode, you might think you're in the documents folder. Where first of all, documents isn't highlighted anymore. You see that?
I'm up here. Yeah.
But now it tells you you're in paintings and art. And you're like, well, where's paintings and art? Inside of what folder? Well, look down here. Oh, paintings and art is straight into documents, because maybe she has a folder called art. Inside of one is paintings, one is photo, one is collage, right? So her paintings might be already deep inside other folders. Does that make sense? But in her case, no, paintings and art is her main level folder, so to say. Okay. So she is looking at that folder right now. So how do you now, you can continue from here putting stuff into horse paintings, or, and I'm gonna, hold on, I need to clean, I did an undo, and so all the other lines appeared from before. So here's the thing, in here, in this paintings and art, she's in it already. She could make another folder called landscapes or animals, and then drag all the things inside of it. Does that make sense? So let's do that as one example, and then I'll show you a different way. No, don't go anywhere weird. Put your mouse right here. Like, see my circle? Okay. There's empty space inside of this folder. As this is doable only when there's empty space inside of this folder, okay? If there's no empty space inside of this folder, you can't do a right click into it. But since there's empty space, she can do a right click. Go ahead and do a right click and make a new folder. There it is. Call it landscapes or whatever. I don't know your art. Something that's useful to you.
Oops, I did it wrong. I shouldn't need to
It's all
back
right.
up.
It's all right. I'll teach people how to do that. Today we're going to practice that. Yeah. It's okay. Don't worry. Just give it a name of something that makes sense to you. I don't know if landscapes make sense to you. These are your real files, so you might want to. I propose landscapes, but maybe it's not a thing for you. But okay.
That's good enough. Okay.
Okay. So landscapes. Okay. So she just made a new folder. We're going to practice this one ad nauseum. Don't worry. But she's taken this class before, so I know she knows, and so I'm just directing her. But the how-to comes in a minute. So now grab a landscape and put it inside of landscapes. Grab a landscape and drop it quickly. It went straight in. And if you doubt it, click on this little arrow to open it and see it went in. You see that? Now let's do exactly what we did before. Grab another landscape and hold it over landscapes and don't let go, like hover.
I don't know if I have another one. Let me see.
Beach, chair, and lighthouse. That looks like it's probably okay. So hover over landscapes. Oh, you let go. Go ahead and do Command Z. Command Z. So look what's Command Z. It undid her last set. Did you see that? Now this time, grab it, drag it over the word landscapes, and just hold it. Don't
Okay.
let go. Hold it like a beat. It's like da da. You hold like 2 seconds and boom, let go. Where are you now?
I'm
Inside of
under
landscape.
land.
When
Yep.
you don't let go immediately, it's like, oh, you're trying to pull me open, so the drawer opens. You know what I mean? It's like it's almost like if you're into music, you just wait a two tit, and as soon as you hold it that long, it goes, oh, you want me to open, but boom, so it opens up. So now you're inside a landscape. So you're 3 levels in, and if you look down here, beach chair is inside of landscapes, which is inside of paintings, which is inside of documents. You see that? I mean, it's just that some people go, you told me to drop it and I'm getting it. It's just that if you hold it a bit too long, you move in. And if you had like sea landscapes, mountain landscapes, and I don't know, desert landscapes, you might want to make more folders in here to divide your landscapes. But there's a point where it's ridiculous, right? It depends on what your needs are, what organization you need. So you might have wanted to make 3 different folders in here. In this case, if that's all you have of landscapes, you don't want to make 3 different folders, then when I go one too many, it gives me all the old, here are my drawings. So now how do you get back? Because there was, remember in the documents folder, we had left one other painting still way in the original documents folder. You following me? Before you do anything. So wait, let me just mark the 3 different ways. I can go all the way back into the documents folder. Don't click. Okay, I want to be in here in the landscape. You can either go all the way back into the documents folder. For those of you PC people, this is a little bit how the PC works, that you open up and it opens another thing. This is the least nice way for me to work. It seems limited because I don't see everything else. If I hadn't told you guys to turn on this path bar, you would have no idea where you were, right? You'd be like, oh, I'm in landscape, but where's my landscapes? And that's kind of what I feel when I'm on a PC. It doesn't have that context of where it is. So I don't particularly like to do the whole like hold to get in unless I purposely need to get in, because it is kind of the easiest way to make a new folder in list mode. That's one way to go back to documents. Another way to go back to documents, or if I want to go just back to paintings, for example, would be to double click right here on the word paintings. Or I could go back. Now I would have to go back 1, 2, 3 to get back to documents. So if I want to go straight to documents, just go to documents. If I were to go just one back to paintings, I could go one back there. If I wanted to go to documents, I would go back. I would have to go twice back. Does that make sense? Or
Yeah.
I can target where I want to go over here. Okay, I want to go all the way to documents. Let me just double click here. They're all possible ways to get back. Okay? Because so there's just many choices. So now you choose. What do you want to do next? Do you want to go back to paintings or do you want to go all the way back to documents? And choose one and tell us which one and then do it.
Documents.
Okay, click on document. Boom, we are back in documents. You see that?
Yep.
And down here, we skip all that. We're in documents and here's our paintings and art. And there's still one more paintings that hadn't made it in. You see that?
Mhm.
So now wait. If everyone's clear on that, because this is such a clear case, I want to show you the plan B. So any questions about what I just did? I know you might not know how to do what she's doing yet, but the concept, because this would be the demo I would be doing myself. And it's so clear that this is the demo part. In list mode, you work down in that hierarchy. How I would prefer to do it. But it can be a bit easier to see it in column modes for when you're organizing. I like list mode for everything else. My whole time I'm using the computer. But when I'm in the middle of creating those structures, columns mode is kind of comfy. So let me show you what I mean by columns mode for a second. Let me clear all my little drawings. Okay. Now, we're in documents, so let's go over here to this little view and switch to columns mode. But first of all, make sure you guys are in documents. If anyone, I saw a couple people run to their computers if you're following through. But remember, I'm not explaining you guys anything, any questions, I'm showing. So ideally, you're all looking. Okay, so she's going to columns mode now, okay? Choose columns. Okay, now, she's at the base level of columns mode, which is good. Like she's in documents folder, right? So on the left side, it looks the same, only see there's no little arrows anymore. So the arrows were there only if there was something in that folder. By the way, you can make a folder and have nothing in it, then there's no arrow. But the moment you have it, something in it, one of those little arrows appeared. Can you go back to list view so people know what I'm talking about when I say arrows? Switch quickly back to list view. These are little arrows I'm talking about. They'd be empty if there was nothing in friends. If she just created friends and there was nothing in it, there'd be no arrow there. The fact that there's an arrow means that if you click on this arrow, it will kind of expand like paintings and things are in there. Does that make sense? So now you can collapse it again. Okay, I just wanted to show you that. Okay, let's go back to columns mode where suddenly, whoops, those arrows disappear. See that?
But they're on
All
the
right.
right side.
So now let's see what's inside of paintings and art. Oh, yes, thank you. They're on the right side. That little arrow is on the right side. Thank you. And again, if there was nothing in them, there'd be no arrow on the right side. But look what happened when she clicked on paintings and art. And you don't need to click on the arrow. You can just click on the word painting and art anywhere. What does this look like? It's the second column and it shows us what's inside of paintings and art. You recognize horse paintings, landscapes? Does that make sense? So when you have a columns mode, the left side is holding what's in the right side. So this is inside of there. Does that make sense? Yeah, so there is a third. Can you go into horse paintings now?
Oops, what happened?
And by the way, you keep touching the arrow, just so you know, you can touch anywhere here, just so you know, you don't need to go and target the arrow. Can you do that again, just so it's clear? Go click on landscapes now. Click on the word landscapes. This is what's in landscapes. Now click on the word horse paintings. This is what's in horse paintings. Does that make sense? And I'm hiding the name so you can't tell, but see how it says blue horse is what's in there. And horse painting is in there. Does that make sense? And down here, you see horse paintings is inside of painting and art and the documents, which is the same thing we saw before, but we're seeing it differently. Got it? Now click again on landscapes. And there you go. Now we're seeing beach and lighthouse things. Does that make sense? So that is, why do I say this might be easier? Because now you can
slide
see
them
it.
over.
Yeah, you can just go grab this bottom one that was left in documents and just drag it over here.
Should I do it?
Go for it. Just drag it. Is it a landscape? Oh, there we go. It was a landscape. So she went straight in all the way to landscapes. Did you see that? Yeah. Because you could see them. Does that make sense? I was gonna go, no, put it in paint. No, but she knew it was a landscape. I didn't. And boom, it went all the way in. But she hovered for a bit. So what happened?
It opened it up.
So it opened landscapes. That's just because she hovered a bit. First thing in columns mode, we were just looking at folders before. When you get to the end piece, when you're selecting not a folder but a thing, then you see a little preview of it. But let me take all this pink stuff out and hold on. Okay, let's go back and click back to documents again for a second.
Here,
So now go ahead and click again on painting and art. I'm trying to respect that was just showing us. I don't want to go anywhere else. Now click again on landscapes, for example. And now click on paintings and you'll see, hold on, don't click yet.
Oops.
Okay. What
Sorry.
happened right now is, yeah, she knows this already, is that it's not that she changed, it's just that she had no space for the first column. So she's showing the third. So now what you're about to do is right. Go ahead and grab over here and extend it a little bit more. You were about to do it. And I was like, wait. There we go. Expand it to the right. Keep going to the right. Keep going to the right. Just after a bit. No. You were doing this.
well,
Oh, because you have zoom on the right side. Got it. Keep going to the right and see how this one is beginning to come in. I can demo that, but yeah. Like if you move it a bit over.
want me to move it more?
Go ahead and move it from here a little bit more to the left so you have more space. Yeah, and then if you have space on here. So that basically, yeah, it tries to get a bit bigger, but yeah. You don't have a Mac. Go ahead and click on the word documents again. You don't have a Mac mouse. You could go sideways.
Yeah, I
with a
do.
Mac mouse. Oh, you do? Okay, then you can just scroll sideways on a Mac mouse. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and click again on painting and art down here. And then make this a little bit smaller, like put your mouse here in between those, make it a bit smaller so you have a bit more space for all your columns. And then make this one a bit smaller. That way you have space when we have 4 columns. It's just to make it easier for the demo. Okay, now click on landscapes. Good, now click on one of these. So now, don't click on anything else. So now it says landscapes up here because we're looking at the folder called landscapes. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
But that, excuse me. Yeah, we really can't take those chairs out. What's up? It's like absolutely forbidden. You can take one of those. Hi. No, that's fine. Oh, if it is, it's for the, then be my guest. Yeah, I was like, no, if you're going to sit out there and chat, you can take one of the bad ones, but no, please, you can take them out now. It's for that reason. And by the way, they're ridiculously comfortable. Yeah. They're just how they refurbish this lab. They're refurbishing the sewing lab, which is amazing. But I just thought it was someone who wanted a chair to sit and we're like, no, I would get killed if one of these chairs was missing. Anyway, sorry guys, you at home don't know what's happening. I'm like, someone was stealing one of our highly amazing, comfortable chairs. I'm like, oh, don't do that. Okay. All right, guys. Can we focus again? All right. Okay, so thank you. Okay, so whoops. Hold on, I'm not showing your screen for a second. All right, so you see that, you guys, how even though we're in documents, Gigi? They don't have tags on that one? No, but I mean, the school knows what they are. If people keep talking to you about me, but it's not your fault, it's my people's fault. So guys, here. To me. Okay. Do I need to paint my face like a clown? Look at me. Okay. You're welcome to take it out if you need to, by the way. Now I am talking to them. And then, okay, so I am on the documents folder, but it says landscapes up there because that's the one. See how it's like that one selected and this one selected and this one selected? Like they're all selected because I'm in that path. Does that make sense? All right. And then the final one is there. If I had another folder here, I could go again and again. And if I could keep going for a while, if I had more and more levels, which it is possible to have beach inside of beach and mountains inside of landscapes, landscapes inside of paintings, paintings inside of art, art inside of whatever my inspiration or my or clients or something like that. You know, you could have paintings that you do for yourself, paintings that you're an illustrator, paintings for clients. I mean, all these things could have more and more sub-depths. Does that make sense? But the last one, okay, so now can you go to beach chair? You know how at the end where you have lighthouse, can you go to beach chair? So the last one, when it's actually the file itself, and not the last one, it could be that you clicked on blue writer over there, just not a folder, but an icon, like a file. So go ahead and you have a little preview of it. You have the file name. You have what type of format it is. You have the size. You have when it was opened, when it was created. You have everything. All the info that you had in the list view, it comes up, but it's not there for the files until you touch them. So it's not, you know how in list view, you could see that for all the files at the same time, all their sizes, all their dates. Now you can see beach chairs info. Now go down to Lighthouse for a second. Now you have Lighthouse and all its info. Now go to one of these on the second level. So see, it wasn't about what level. It's not that I had to go all the way in. It's just that Charlie. Okay, Carol's laughing. That is a funny portrait. So now you're in there, and there was more space because this used to have 2 columns. Now it has 1, so it looks bigger, but only because there's a lot of space there. Like if she were to grab this and make it smaller again. Well, if she wanted to find the lighthouse, yes, now that's something that I haven't shown yet, that Susie's asking about this search bar. Could you have use Lighthouse in there? And you could have, but hold on, because that's yes, but I want that to be your absolute last option. Like, I can't find it no matter what. Well, there's always the search. But when you do a search, it goes into your entire computer. You could remember or not your file name. It's going to find probably 2,500 things that are called Lighthouse, depending on how many things you have. So if all of this is put in a way that's logical, if you're looking for a painting, why would you have to search the entire computer? Why would it have to go into Christmas and dance and donations and family and financial looking for the word lighthouse if you know it's a painting? If you put it in the right place, does that make sense? It should be under painting. Now, granted, say that Julie has 2,000 paintings because she's an avid painter. And when you go into painting and art, there's like Lighthouse 1, 2, 3, Lighthouse 25. Then ideally, she has organized those in a way that makes more sense, like Rhode Island paintings, Arizona desert painting, you know. So it's when you have, say, more than 20 things in a folder, maybe it's time to begin to subcategorize them again. Does that make sense? But sometimes you might have, 200 things under paintings. And if
Look. Can't hear you.
okay.
Thank you.
I was saying that going to the search why is it your last when I go one undo too many, it goes all the way here. Going to the search is your final resource. Why? Because you have to remember the file name. Someone just the tech support who it hasn't been called today just walked by. So she waved in and I'm like, hi, I don't need you. So there. Okay. So if you remember the name of the file, you're good finding it. Well, what if you don't remember the name of the file? You can't describe in that search. You can't describe. It's not a kind of a search where you can be descriptive of, you know, there was a blue chair in front of the ocean. What if you called the photo landscape 1? Blue chair in front of ocean won't help you find the file called landscape 1. So if you called it landscape 1 through 200, you're in trouble. If you called it landscape 1 / blue chair ocean, that's the fifth one today, guys. That's okay. But thank you, by the way. I'm going to congratulate him. If you have an alarm that rings, thank you so much for taking it outside. Okay. But then sometimes you start talking right outside the door, which is just a disruptive. So move away if you're going to talk to answer. You can answer as soon as you're on the phone and say, give me a sec, and then walk away from any classroom door, everyone to talk. Okay. Your hand was up. Exactly. That's when a search is really useful, right? Because if you look into paintings and it's not there, that's when I would use a search. But then again, you have to remember, as I said, you have to remember the name of the file or a portion. Maybe you called it chicken duck with towel portrait. That's what you called it. Chicken duck with file portrait. Charming. Chicken is right under. Charming duck. You called it charming duck with towel portrait. The good news is even if you just remember the word towel, because that's probably what you would remember. You might not remember it was a chicken or a duck, but you'd remember it was an animal with a towel. If you look for the word towel, it'll pop up. But if you called it animal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you're out of luck, right? So if you put it in the jewelry drawer folder and you called it animal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, when you look for the word animal, you're going to have, 20 animals in all these different folders. Hopefully you'll be able to go through them and find, oh, this one's in the jewelry. You know what I mean? Ideally, you call things that are generic, like animal / towel on head or something like that. And then that distinguishes it a little bit more to make you remember. But if you're the kind of person who goes to the beach and every time you go, you paint one beach chair in front of the ocean and they're all gorgeous and different. It's a series. It's hard to describe all of those differently. So you might want to call them beach chair ocean -1 through 25. And you need to look through all 25 to find the one you're looking for. Okay. But hopefully it's not 2,500, right? You've gotten in enough. So names that are, there's a word that we use for this all the time, and I'm having, for some reason, the one that's coming into me is meaningful, and it's a different word. Meaningful names, as in that they really are descriptive, helps. But also, if you describe really carefully every single thing, it's hard to get consistency. So ideally, if you do have a series, call it animals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 20, so that they also connect in the alphabetical sense. They all collapse together. If they're animals 1, 2, 3 / duck with towel, animal / horse and barn, horse and red barn, horse and green barn, horse and, a stable. Does that make sense? So ideally something that, if it's a series, something that's the same for all of them at the beginning helps with them appear. See how all her blue stuff appears at the top together? Now they might not be connected to her, but the word blue connects them, right? They might be just that all have blue. But if what should have connected them was the fact that they're all about flowers, maybe you start with the flowers and then you say dash blue and green vase or whatever. Does that make sense? And then all your flower portraits. So how you name the files is really helpful in later finding your stuff. versus flowers in blue vase, green vase with blue flowers, vase with yellow flowers, then they'll be all over the place because all three, one started with green, one with vase, one with flowers. Does that make sense? Yeah. So anyway, but that is getting into the such minute details, and she's at that point. So I'm giving her that choice. So what if she wants to now call because it, you know, inside she makes so many flowers that she has a whole folder called flowers. Then you put flowers / begonias, flowers / peony, flowers / marigold, right? So then you become, but if you just write marigold, peony, begonia, then they'll mix together with trees and shrubs and bushes or whatever.
Mm.
So I'm going to talk to you now. The next thing we're going to do after you, if you understood all of this, thank you so much. Now we're going to get into creating folders, naming, renaming, and all that. And then we're going to start doing this for everyone. And I know there were 2 more people who had questions. So let me just make sure. Does this process make sense, what I said about columns? Later, for me, columns are more restrictive because if I'm trying to find which of these, if I'm not in the middle of organizing, I'm just looking for my files. If I'm trying to find amongst all of these, the one that I painted last year versus this year, right? Maybe I made portrait of that beach towel on my last summer vacation. Now another one. This, it's hard to tell because I'd have to click on each one to see their date. Does that make sense? Because you don't see all the dates of all of them at the same time.
Mhm.
So then I might need to switch back to list view. But in the organizational part, when I'm putting things inside of things, this view is pretty useful. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, what happens now? Everyone pay one more attention before we go in. She's selecting Charming Ducks. That's what's selected right now. She's in painting and art. We all know that that's inside of documents. We are all like comfy. We know where these things are. What happens if you switch right now to list view? Where will you end up? Go ahead and click on list view. It
Okay.
lands you back into whatever was selected. Does that make sense? It didn't take her all the way back to documents, even though she was in documents, but she was far in, you know, the different in folder within folder within folder. So when she switched to list view, it takes you to that level that she was in, which is painting and art. She
Oh,
was in
yeah.
painting and art after all. You see that?
Yeah.
So now if she were to want to go back, she would have to go back by clicking on documents to go all the way back. Click on documents. And now look at that. Documents was left in columns view. Where you left it last, it stays. If you left it in columns view, it stays. So now if you're ready to go to list view, you have to switch back to list view. Okay.
Oops.
Things stay in the mode you left them in. Hi, Kristen. Thanks for joining us. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So it's not, and now if you go, well, you can't go back anymore because we're out, but she switched to list view inside of paintings or landscapes, whichever she was in. But when she went back to documents, we had left documents in columns view. So you need to have these handy and switch back and not those two, switch back and forth between these two as we organize, because wherever you left it last, when you get to that folder, it'll be in the mode that you left it in. Okay. All right. Okay, that was like amazing demo. Thank you so much, Julie.
Well, thank you for helping me.
Well, I mean, it's so nice to have something. By the way, she had the same disaster that I'll show you in mine when she started this process. And look how organized she is now, right? And now she's going and organizing inside of it. So whenever you guys get a little bit like, oh, because today I'm going to have you make these big folders. This is what's coming next today. We're going to create folders. I'm going to teach you how to create folders, how to create folders within folders, how to name and rename folders and files. So that's all we're going to practice. But at first, you had all the stuff you had in documents. Then you brought things from downloads and you brought things from desktop. And at first, it might find like overwhelming. Some of you might have 2,000 things. Some of you have 10,000 things. Some of you might have 20 things. I don't know how many things you have in your documents folder right now. But what we need to think of right now is what folders make sense to you. You know your files. Are you a painter? No. Then don't make a paintings folder. Duh, that seems obvious. But then what folders do you make? Well, look at your files and you tell yourself. Sometimes I actually, at my documents level folder, I have 5 files only. I have thousands of folders in my computer, but I only have 5 folders myself. I have personal, SBCC, work, my clients, computer problems. I have that one at the base level when I had to do screen and screenshots. I do a lot of screenshots. So those are the 5 that I have at the base level, which might seem almost too minimal, but it became easier to me. It's like I have 5 rooms in my house and it's very clear where things are and I don't overlap. So then when I'm at my documents level, my first level down will always be one of those 5. When I'm working with my teaching stuff, I go straight into SBCC. And in SBCC, I have my admin folder and my classes folder. I have 2 folders inside of SBCC. Admin, SBCC admin, all the paperwork, all of the, I have to do, and classes, all my class files. And I have a tremendous amount of class files. Forget it. Once you enter Santa Barbara City College classes, which is 2 levels down, documents, Santa Barbara City College, classes. Once you enter classes, I have so many classes. So even that is divided into graphics classes, all my Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, web, then I have a web classes, then I have Mac classes, then I have Microsoft Word classes. So that's like 5 folders in there. Then I go into Microsoft, then I have the folder for my, when I teach Excel, when I teach Word, when I teach Pages, you know what I mean? So, so if I had all of that under SBCC, but now when I need to pull up a handout for my, Photoshop class, I just go straight in to that, and here's what I need you to understand, that if I were to go each time to documents, SBCC, classes, graphics, Photoshop, summer class, that would take a lot. So when I'm in summer, I will make a quick access to just my summer classes of Photoshop, because that's what I'm teaching. I'm teaching the fall one or the spring one. And I will make a little shortcut right here. So during that entire summer session, when I need to get to my Photoshop summer class files, I'll click right here. It'll take me straight there. So that's when I say you don't need the stuff on your desktop, because there's 2 other places you can make shortcuts. That's how I prefer to do things. Or plan B, those of you who love that stuff on the desktop, you can make a little shortcut over here for summer Photoshop class files so that you can access them quickly. You don't have to go all the time. You could just have a quick access, like we have a quick access to Safari down here in the dock. I could have a quick access to those class files. I was about to show how to make that quick access, Julie.
Sorry, I'll
That's
bring
okay.
it back.
I was just going to show how to make a quick access to that. Could you share just one more second and I'll tell you how to do that? Since I'm mentioning it, I want to show it to you, and then we're going to all put hands on and start doing it. Because I know the biggest concern, especially for those of you who didn't want to think about your desktop, will be like, oh God, I don't want to because there's so much stuff. But let me just show you really quickly. Let's go all the way back in to your paintings and art, and then into your landscapes. So you can, open that way, and then scroll down, and then get to your landscapes. Okay. Now she only has 2 levels down, but I just described how I have like 5 levels down in one of my examples. So say that I want to get, okay, so can you scroll up so that the word landscapes ends up kind of near up at the top, like near documents? No, up, yeah, there. Okay. So watch. Can you go and click on the word landscape? Say that you're focusing on, you have a show coming up in December, and it's going to be all your landscapes. So you're just focusing on your landscape pictures. Does that make sense? Click on the word landscapes. Yeah. Now, it's tax season. You need to spend some time on your taxes. So you need to focus on taxes, and your taxes are inside of, listen to this, guys. You have a folder called Taxes 2024 that you need to start working on soon, right? Inside of that folder, Taxes 2024, you probably have a folder called Receipts and Stocks or Investments or whatever you guys put in there. You have a folder called 2024 Taxes. That folder is inside of a folder called Taxes. where you also have taxes 2023, 2022, 2022. So you have many folders in there of all the years you've been doing your taxes. Just saying as an example. And one of them is taxes 2024. And you have another one called taxes 2025 because you've been putting all your receipts all year in it, right? But now it's time to pay your 2024 taxes. And every day you sit at your computer, you work on those files. So you grab, she's going to grab landscapes, but that taxes was inside of financial was inside of personal was inside of document, you know, so it's deep in there. In this case, it's only 2 levels down. Grab landscapes and drag it towards the, let me just tell you where you're going to grab towards. So now this is an instruction for Julie. Hold on, don't do anything yet. You're going to target any place in between any of these. I don't care where, but in between, see? In between desktop, in between documents, in between downloads. So grab the word landscapes and there, let go. Cool. Now, close your Finder window. Okay, so now you sit at your computer. You don't have any shortcuts here telling you how to get to your taxes or landscapes or whatever. And you're like, it's time to paint. Open your Finder window and click on landscapes. You're there. And she has it in icons view, right? So it's okay. Since it's paintings, in fact, this is the one time I would say that's a good thing to do. But see how quickly she got there? Yeah, you can drop it wherever you want. Yeah, so Julie, grab this landscapes and gently drag it and drop it there, for example. There. And you put it there. It's just a quick access, just like this is a quick access to an app. It's just a quick access to it. So now you can move it to wherever you prefer, as long as it's under favorites. So that's what favorites is. It's quick access to parts of your computer. So now
can I change this back to a different view from this?
Yeah. It's just that by default, when you first go ahead and change the view. The way Apple works, it defaults to icons view, right? And so whenever you create a new one there, the first view will be an icons view. But yes, okay. Say, go ahead and click on columns or list. Go ahead and click on whatever you want. Yeah. Exactly. So she's done. Her show is come and gone. She's done. No need for landscapes. And again, they're going to sit there until the next time she needs them. And now it's on to whatever. She's into cooking today. So then 2 ways. You can either grab it and drag it away. Hold on. Let me show you the 2 ways. Drag it far enough away that it finally appears with the word remove. So it takes at least like 2 inches. Or there. See how now that X appears? Or can you go ahead and do Command Z so that it appears again? Command Z, that might actually be the one thing that doesn't appear automatically. No. You're Command Z so much, you're taking all your paintings out of your landscapes. So now go back to edit and say, go back up here to edit and say redo move. Yeah, and then redo again because you basically you undid 3 times, so you redid. Okay, so now you have to go back 1. And let me show you the other way to get rid of it. Go back 1. Oh, because see, that's the thing. For some strange reason, your Finder window brings you way here instead of into your documents folder, and we need to shift that. But let's go back to your documents. Grab your landscapes and put it out here again.
Out here?
And anywhere there, yeah. Yeah. And by the way, you don't want to let go when you're inside of applications, right? Because then you'll move in your folder landscapes into applications. You want to wait until that blue line appears. Can you move your landscapes now in between desktop and documents, but don't move it yet. Hold it for a second. See, you need to make sure it's right in between. You see what I mean? Yeah. Or when you first created it, okay, let go. Go and grab horse paintings now. Let's make one for horse paintings. And don't let go until I tell you. So move it up here. Keep going. See that blue line? Now move it up a bit higher up and between other stuff there. If you drop it in landscapes, horse paintings is going to landscapes. But if you wait for that blue line to appear, now you can keep moving up and down until you're done. And when you find the right spot for it there, that's when you let go. So you have to wait. And then you put it where you want it. Does that make sense? What? Yeah. when you first make it. Now to move it, just move it when there's space. Now you can grab horse paintings and move it under landscapes. Go ahead and do that. No problem. Like you can just grab it and move it under horse painting, under landscapes. Click on it and move it under landscapes. There you go. But when you first bring it out and create it, you have to wait for that kind of like a blue line permission, because otherwise it goes into wherever you drop it. And then next thing you know, you move your horse paintings into your desktop, right? So now that it's there, you can move it to your horse. Okay, so now the second way, other than dragging it out like she did before, now go ahead and right click horse paintings. And this is the one that's scary for people. Right click on horse paintings. It says remove from sidebar. It shouldn't be scary. It just means remove from sidebar, but you're not removing the folder. This is the sidebar. You're just removing it from the sidebar.
Can I click it?
Yeah, go for it. You can rename it, you can remove it, but next thing you know, horse paintings is still there. You just removed it from the sidebar. Now the second one, do it the other way again. Drag it out, out, out. Click on it first, and then when you see the X, you can let go. That's removing it from the sidebar. Okay?
Oh,
And guess what? Horse paintings and landscapes are very much still there. Those were just shortcuts. Okay?
cool. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, now I'll let you go. Thank you so much. This was amazing demoing, following instructions. And the thing is, and let me explain to you something. Julie's been in my classes for a long time. No, but
And
let
I'm
me
still
explain.
learning all the
But
time.
here's the thing. When I demo things, it's one thing to watch. You've all watched. You learn it a little bit. When you do it, you learn it better. When you say it and teach it, you learn it even better, right? If you write it down, you learn it better. There's different ways that. So Julie deserved to learn it better. And so she was doing such a good job of shaping. Now she's learned it in a way that it'll be much harder for her to forget next time. Had I demoed it, she would have been one of the watchers. Now you've been the watcher, so now we're all going to do. But I really enjoyed that had it been hard for her to follow, I wouldn't have put her on the spot. But I knew that she could handle it, and she did. And now she did it. You know what I mean? So one of you guys has it down. Now the rest of us are going to do it. All right.
Can I just say something too, Deanna? I
Yes.
have taken your class for a number of years. And when I started, I was almost in tears because nothing made sense. So each time I take it, what you're even saying to me today makes more sense than it made last time.
Yeah. Thank you. And it doesn't mean that you're destined to take this class for years and years and years. Some people, like you can just do things once and learn it. And sometimes you want to it's one of those things like yes, once you ride a bicycle, you know how to ride a bicycle, but it's kind of hard at first if you haven't done it in 10 years. So if you do it all the time, then it's comfortable. But don't think you're destined to not learn it today. You will learn it today, but then you have to practice it, right? And the thing is that once you organize your files, they're organized. What does that mean? You don't need to keep organizing them. So some of this might fall out of place because once you've organized in them, you don't, unless you keep organizing them, there's a point where how many more times do you need to organize your socks? They're organized, right? So you might lose some practice in organization because you've organized them once and for all. And now each time you have one file, you don't really organize everything again. So don't despair. It's good that she's taking it again. It doesn't mean, oh my God, I won't learn things with one time. No, some of you guys will come one time around and some of you guys will come many times. Plus each time I teach from a different point of view in a different way. And I say things that I might have not said the last time. Okay. So both Susie and Gigi had a question. Let's go to your 2 questions and then we're going to put hands on to this. Let me stand next to you so people can hear your question and speak a little bit louder because I don't think even Phil can hear you.
Like that screenshot right there that you've got up there. If
Yeah.
you want that off your desktop, you just drag it to the trash and you don't lose it, correct?
No. If
No.
you drag it to the trash, it's gone. You're
Oh.
trashing it.
Okay, so
If
where
you
do
want it off your desktop,
Yeah,
you put it in your documents folder. And that's exactly what we're about to do.
over there somewhere.
Yeah, I open my Finder window, and I drag it into my documents folder.
Where is the documents folder along there?
Right now, it's nowhere. Right now, it's nowhere. You guys at home might be seeing my Finder window, but no, because no one's sharing. So right now, you don't see a documents folder anywhere. How do you look into a computer? What do you need to do to look inside a computer? I'm going to share my screen now, guys, so everyone has a chance to So when you're looking at a computer right here, the question that she asked was, hold on, let me just move people out of the way for a minute so that you guys can see them, but they're not in the way of the computer. Here we go. All right, so you're looking at my empty desk. Ignore the Zoom people, right? But if you look at my desk like that, Susie's question is, okay, if I need to move this screenshot out of my desktop, where is that documents folder? So if I need to look inside my computer to see my documents folder, where do I go? What do I do? Open a Finder window, which means click on this smiley face, open a Finder window, and there it is. There's my documents. Okay. So at this point, yeah, I'm kind of blind. I only see my desktop. I see nothing else of my computer. I can open an application, but I don't know where my files are. Finder window. I have a Finder window open all the time on my computer, basically. And here I go. That's where my documents are. That's where my downloads are. What's that?
From the icon there over all the way over to the dock.
Wait. Say that again.
So how do you move from there over to the dock?
To here? Yeah, so I open my Finder window and I can either, to your question, drag it physically from here. So I'll select my documents folder, okay? I can physically drag it from here and drop it in here, right? That physically do that. Or I can go to my desktop here and drag it from here into here. And it's exactly the same thing because this and that are the same thing. My desktop here, that little icon there, is that when you can see a little bit of orange on it? It's exactly the same one. So I can either literally, this is my desktop and this is my desktop. I'm looking twice at the same thing.
We want to get it off.
And we want to get it off the desktop. So see here, I'm looking at my desktop and I'm looking at my desktop. But it's one thing, it's just on my desktop. In this case, if I'm organizing things with my Finder window, I'll stick to Finder window. I'm going to grab it from here and I'm going to drop it in there. So I'm going to move from there to there and let go. Disappeared from here and see how it disappeared from there as well. Now it's in my documents. Now I'm going to do Command Z to undo that step and it came back. Just showing you that Command Z is a comfy thing to do. But be careful because then you can undo I told Julie to Command Z and she kept Command Z, Command Z, Command Z. So she ended up taking all those paintings out of her landscape that she had put in there a while ago because that was the last thing she'd done. So each time you do a Command Z, it goes back one time in your history, right? So let's not even mix Time Machine into all of this. It would be way too confusing. Time Machine is a whole different creature. Time Machine is recording what I'm doing though. So if I were to open Time Machine right now, my screenshot would still be in my desktop. If I move it there and my Time Machine checks in an hour, now that screenshot is in my documents, okay? But we don't move things from there. We don't touch. Time Machine should be taken like auto insurance. Hopefully you never use it. It exists, but you don't use it. The day you crash, unfortunately, use it. That's the day you open Time Machine, okay? Otherwise, you don't move things in and out from Time Machine at all. Time Machine is just sitting there protecting you from the day that you make a big, big mistake. That's all. So no, we don't move things from Time Machine. We just move things within our computer from place to place until they get comfortable. I'm going to Command Z again to put it outside because I want to give some other examples. But let me just show you that whenever I get here, the first thing I need to do is print some rosters. Guess what I did here? Now you might know what this is. What's this? Yeah, it's kind of a weird name and long, that it came in that way from something else and I never changed the name. And what's this? These are shortcuts that I just made, just like Julie just made one for landscapes. When I click on that, this has my Photoshop classes. And when I do that, this has my rosters that I can print them in the morning. But where are they? Well, my rosters are in my documents folders in my iCloud Drive. And where's my HyFlex Photoshop files are in my downloads, which are in DMOSaic, which are in Users Runner. But look how quickly I got to them. instead of having to go to downloads and find that folder and da 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 da. Da. Does that make sense? Okay. So this is the day that I'm done. This class is over in 3 weeks. I'll just right click, remove from sidebar and put in my Illustrator class or whatever is coming next, digital design technique. Okay. So this is a temporary quick access to stuff that I need right now. But where it really is in its rightful. Can you imagine how nice it would be, you guys, if I were sitting in the kitchen and I needed to put on my pink shoes and I could just click a button, pick shoes in my hand, right? Instead of having to walk to the bedroom, open the door, grab I don't even like pink, my pink shoes. But when I'm trying to say something very specific, like this is the quick access to all that really nice organized stuff. It's like kind of like science fiction. You press a button and it all comes out of drawers and hands into your hand. That's what we're doing here. We're doing a quick access to that thing that we neatly stored and organized. And we're doing that organization now. Okay. What's that? We need a robot. Yeah, that's our little robot. Yeah, sometimes I have now, for better or for worse, I created a studio in my garden where I have my computer and all my stuff. And now it's like, it's 9 p.m. and I still haven't done something on the computer. And it's like, oh, I wish I had my computer right here, right now. Instead I have to go out, put on my shoe, and open it, then there's my computer. It would be so much nicer to have it right there, no? So one of the, I just. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Except for, as I've said from the beginning to the end of this day, and I would keep repeating it, the desktop is usually occupied by Excel, applications, Word. I'm working on QuickBooks or whatever. There's stuff everywhere, right? I don't want to clear my desktop to get to Mark Smith's taxes. I go and click on Finder. I click on taxes. Say this is, I put in a shortcut to taxes right there. And then over here, I have a folder here with Mark, Josie's taxes, the 50 people that I'm helping with, and I go and I just double click on that one, but I went straight to taxes. That happened to be, since my job, they happen to be inside of a folder of clients, 2020, 25. Does that make sense? This is a much quicker access than having to clear I have all this tax software on my computer, and I have to clear all that out to go find Mark Smith's files. Versus, I open a Finder window, click on the folder taxes, and there's all my clients. If I only have 5 clients, you can drag them one at a time. I have to admit, on my real computer, for those of you who take my in-person classes, you'll notice that my favorites is like 10 things. Because as much as I just told you that my documents folder is pretty sparse, when I'm teaching 5 different classes, I drag out each folder over here. When I'm working on a particular client, I drag their folder right here. So I might have 5 to 10 things in my favorites all there, because then when I need to switch from client to class to, oh my God, when I have to do attendance rosters at the end of this, I'm doing evaluation. I'm doing teacher evaluations right now. I have my folder of teacher evaluations 2025 right there, because that's dug so deep in the admin folder. It's like 10 levels into the admin folder is where my evaluation folder. So I just drag it out here, click on it and use it. Now, I will teach you after we learn to date. Now we're going to do break and then we're going to hands-on. But I'm going to teach you how also, for people who really like desktop shortcuts, I don't prefer them. That doesn't mean you don't prefer them. I will show you how to do something like this, but on the desktop, which leads you straight to those 10 clients, if you prefer the desktop. And then you come over here, you click on desktop, and then you'll have your 10 shortcuts to those clients. But the material itself needs to live in the documents folder, not on your desktop. You'll just bring out a little quick access to it, either here or, and I'll teach you later, or onto your desktop, okay? But first we need to let's make those folders. Let's make those files. Let's rename those things, create our structure, and then we'll start putting them. We have 2 more days of this. I have, Gigi had a question. I want to get to the questions and then get us out of here for break. Gigi?
There's some way to get something out.
No. If you emptied the trash, it's gone. Plan B, hold on, I'm looking at the time. Are we near the, yeah, yeah, we're near break time. Okay. I needed to look at my calendar. So, wait, hold on. Gigi asked, is there any way to, stop my head. Is there any way she put something in the trash and she emptied her trash. She's telling people at home what she did. Is there any way to recover it? No. Once you empty your trash, there's no way for us mortals to recover it. Can you take it to a store that charges you a lot of money to recover it? Can they recover it? Depends. Because depending on how it was trashed, it could or not have been completely erased from your hard drive, or it could still be there. You don't have access to it, but people with lots of specialized software can access it. Depends on whether it's being written over and stuff like that. But you'd pay a lot of money for it. So if it's like a contract worth $5 million, of course you're going to go pay thousands of dollars to get that done. But if it's justified, you can rewrite, you probably wouldn't do that. Except for if you had a time machine set up. If you had a time machine set up, yes, you can go recover it. Last day of this class. Okay, so that was, I first had to explain to you the importance of not trashing things. And the second one is the importance of having a time machine, because then you can save it from your time machine.
Yeah, I do. So I don't, it wasn't critical. It wasn't, something that I couldn't live with, but I was quite surprised because at the beginning of the class, hey, your trash is empty and your download should be empty. So I went and checked and they both had a lot of stuff in them, which I thought I had started off. I did my homework and I emptied it all. But then I went a little bit further and it started to go through my files and said, I don't think this, I don't think this, I said, this is the trash. When I got to Nick and I opened up the trash, it included not only my personal stuff, but also the stuff from class. And so I
Because the stuff for class is in your computer if you moved it into your documents, yeah.
Yeah, so it was all in there, so I was kind of baffled. So I highlighted like 4 things. That I was thinking, okay, I can start getting rid of the class stuff. And then I highlighted those 4 things and I hit
Empty
empty
trash.
trash.
So you have to right click and say delete only these 4.
Yeah.
But if you say the word empty trash, it goes away. So for you guys who can't hear what Gigi's happening, Gigi set up her stuff is in the cloud. She set up her computer at school. She has a desktop, so she doesn't bring her laptop. So just to explain. So here, her computer here is showing her the stuff she does at home because her stuff is in the cloud and she's accessing it from here. So when she got here today, she wanted to delete only 3 things from the trash. So she selected those 3, and let me show you so that you understand, because this is an important thing not to do. So she opened her trash. Here's my trash, right? And I have a ton of stuff in my trash, right? So she only wanted to get rid of 3 particular things. So she clicked on that one and that one and that one. And remember how to do that? You hold down what key? Command key. But then she made this mistake. Even though she had these 4 things, she hit the empty trash. The empty trash is going to empty your trash. If you want to get rid of these 4, you have to right click. It will ask you. I'm going to show you right now. It will ask you because I'm about to empty none, but hold on. But right here, I did right click, delete immediately. That will delete those 4. See? And it even said, are you sure you want to delete those 4? Right? And I'm going to say, yes, delete them. They're gone. But now I'm finally going to do it. I'm going to empty my trash. Even if I had 4 selected, there we go. I have 4 selected. When I say empty trash, it asks you always, you might have been listening to me, you cannot undo this action. Are you sure you enter? And I had 4 selected, but since I clicked the empty trash, it's going to empty my trash, even though 4 are selected. I'm going to say empty trash, and boom, my trash right now, if you look at it over here, hold on, this is supposed to mess up. If I look at my trash, I have just emptied it. There's no way back. The only way back to this is if I had a time machine. That was my alarm telling me to go, you guys go on break. Command Z does not undo an empty trash. No, mm-mm. Okay. Command Z does not. It says you cannot undo this action. It warns you, and it does say, "Are you sure you want to empty the trash?" But you were probably distracted talking to us or whatever, and you didn't see it. But empty trash does get it's a biggie, so the computer does ask you. But you might have thought it meant, should I empty these 4? Because you had 4 selected. So you were like, yeah, empty it. And then boom, it all went away. The word empty trash is empty trash. She has a time machine at home. Yay. So we're going to be able to recover it. Okay. All right. See, my trash is now finally empty. My downloads is not. I told you why. I do still have stuff in my downloads. Not a ton, but I need to keep some. Let's go ahead and take our break. Is there any other hands up? No. Okay. What time is it? Guys, can I please ask you, especially those of you who are in person? Guys, hey, Rod, Phil, I want to ask you to please learn to put a timer on your phone. So I'm going to show you how to do it. We're not going on break yet because I'm going to show you something. Because if you are, what time will 15 minutes be? 46. So right now,
2:40.
2:46 would be 15 minutes. Let's say 2:47 because I'm going to teach you something right now. So I'm going to say be back at 2 4 my glasses aren't on at 2:47 p.m. So watch, that's 15 minutes. So look at what I'm going to do on my phone. Hey Siri, it's answering now. Set timer for 12 minutes. Why did I say 12 minutes? It gives me 3 minutes to come back from the bathroom, the car, wherever you are. Let's be here in 15 minutes. Okay? All right. See you guys in 15 minutes.
And I have to leave. I'll see you Wednesday.
Okay,
Thank you,
okay.
Deanna. Thank you.
Next door? Oh, the front office. I don't know what they're gonna do with it. I'm not sure. They don't know. I haven't told. Hi, everyone. Yeah, the front office. I've asked whether they, because the same people that are staying here, they're not going back there. I don't know what they're doing. Yeah, yeah. But that's supposed to be temporary, but now it looks like they're gonna make it more permanent. I don't know. That's good. All right, ready to make a lot of files and folders? Rename files, move folders. So, Kristen, I barely acknowledged, I said hi when you arrived, but just so you know, the first, was it almost 45 minutes that Julie was sharing her screen? The whole first part of it was pretty crucial. So I recommend you go and watch that little bit because I'm continuing as if that's where it's at. So don't move that too much because you saw what happened last time. Okay, yeah. It's just my experience of it is it just goes wacko, like exactly what happened last week. So it's hard to keep it in some normal level. But yes, if we can put we used to have a little foot thing on the door where we could keep it a little bit open so that people can still go in and out. But they said if the door is closed, it keeps the temperature more controlled than if it's open. Do you mind maybe putting the trash can in the way and kind of closing the door with a trash can in the way? I need to ask them to bring back that you know, I don't know how to call it, the air conditioning. Always, yeah. When I say always, I mean 20 years of always. It's never done anything. It's never, every time I think I got it right, that if I just move it a little bit up or down, it'll be enough. It just begins to overcompensate. And then if I ever call the tech people in and I show them, it behaves right then. It looks okay. Like right now, nothing's going crazy. It's like 20 minutes later or something. Anyway, okay. So we're going to learn how to create some of those folders. And partly what I was saying, I think earlier, is that each one knows what folders works for them. So I can't tell you what folders to create, but I'm going to show you how to make folders. We're going to make 2 that everyone should make. And especially if you have
Audio's gone.
We can hear you.
there we go. I don't know why it just self turns off. Again, when I tell the tech people about, they go, no, they don't do that. I'm like, yes, they do that. They sit there and watch the videos and you'll see how about 3 times a class, people have to tell me they can't hear me. No, they don't do that. You must have touched, it's always, you must have touched it. Always. I'm like, no, I'm not touching it. Anyway, whatever. Tech. Here I am teaching you tech, but I understand the limitations of tech. Sometimes does crazy stuff. Okay, so so I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to share Finder window only. So we're going to open a Finder window. And we're going to show you how to do all this, also how to put stuff on the side. But right now, I'm going to make the assumption that you have emptied out your downloads and your desktop. And if that you had any issues with putting stuff in the documents folder, and that's why you didn't download it, this would be a time to speak up. But if you didn't do it because you're still wanting to see how it turns out, and I'm not sure That's fine. I get you. I've told you what you need to do. It's up to you to do it or not. After today, when we start creating folders, maybe you'll feel more empowered to move them in.
Mhm.
Maybe it'll take you until next Monday. Maybe it'll take you until 2 classes from now. I basically recommend you don't put your stuff on your desktop for the many reasons I told you. But after that, I'm not gonna, you can't stay in class if you don't move them. No. So it's up to you to move them or not. Meaning, if you have to share your screen, please don't hesitate to share your screen, even if your stuff is still in the desktop and downloads, because it's kind of like the best thing ever to be able to show you other versions and other ways to make it work. And then it's up to you to tell me if it works or not. Yes.
Now I have all the stuff in your class.
Oh, Justine's here. Hold on, Justine's coming.
Now, is there a quick way that the whole thing, or do I have to highlight it?
Is there a quick way to empty the,
All of the downloads from the class. Or are we gonna work on it?
those downloads from the class are the ones that you downloaded that are mine, but you have your own now. Give me a second. Hi, Justine, by the way. Nice to see you. So nice to see you. It's been a
Hi,
while.
thanks. I was just checking in. I can't stay, but I was just putting
Got
my
it.
note in the chat.
Thank you. That's really helpful. Thank you.
Sure. Take care.
You too. All right. So these are all the ones that I gave you, right? Which are not yours. So you don't want to move them into your documents because your documents are real.
Correct.
Okay. So either leave them here to practice on or select them all and put them all in the trash because you have your, if you go to documents, do you have documents to work on?
Yeah, my own personal doc.
Okay, good. So then let's get rid of these. So go ahead and
Start at
say
the top and
command,
do-
you can do command A, by the way. If you really, if you've checked them and it's all mine,
Yes.
okay, now do a right click and move to trash. There you go.
Okay,
It's gone.
thank you.
You're welcome. So, here we go. If you have a documents folder like mine right now, when I say like mine, I have them up here. Remember that depending on what you click is how they organize. So I'm going to organize by name so that I'm going to click name enough times that at the top I see what's numbers and at the bottom is the Z, right? So that's what I mean by organized like mine. I have all this stuff, files, folders, files, folders, files, folders, kind of messy. Okay, you have it in columns view, so switch back to list view. So go up, look at my screen. Your window's a bit smaller than mine, so it shows us one icon. Click on it and choose list view. Perfect. If it's on list view, what are you not seeing then?
Okay, now I'm seeing name.
Yeah,
This and this.
there they are.
Oh.
In the columns view, you guys, there's nothing up on top that says anything. So when you like name, size, all that. In the list view, there it says name, size, kind. Yes? Rod? Okay,
Yeah.
so guys, it's a great question. Someone here is missing their downloads. Okay?
Hmm.
Now listen, pay attention because this sometimes people can't find their documents or their desktop or their applications. What did I just say that all these were? Nope, not apps. Apps are in the dock. These are all folders,
Go.
places in your computer.
Hmm.
So what if, and watch, what if at some point by mistake, because he dragged it out or because he said, right click, remove from sidebar,
Hmm.
it's gone. Which Rod is saying he can't find downloads right now. It could be that it's gone. Is my downloads gone? My downloads folder gone? No, just the shortcut to it is gone. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So in this case, I'm going to, let me head over to the, if I go to my name in this list, there's my downloads. Guess what I'm going to show you again now? I'm just going to just drag it out again and put it in there. So things that are missing can be put in there again. So now, wait, one more thing, which might be, I'm not, Rod, look at my screen. There's one more thing that could be the problem. So I'm going to show you two problems, then I'm going to go up to you to see what is yours. One is possible is that we got rid of something, okay? And you saw, you just choose them and bring them back. The other one could be that favorites is collapsed. And this is important because a lot of times you come in here and you can't see your stuff. Watch my mouse, like my mouse. Don't do it. Watch my mouse. If I hover over the word favorites, what's happening way over there? Like, see this little arrows that pop up way over here? If I click on the word favorites, nothing's going to happen. I have to go to the little arrow and click, and then they open up again. So it's not about hovering over the word. It's really clicking on this arrow to make them expand and collapse, expand and collapse. I'm going to go check and see which one it is that happened. But you should all expand and collapse yours because for the most part, that happens by mistake. Yeah, click on it. Go back. No, it's the top arrow, the one next to favorites. One up. Click on that one. Yep. And now you have to open your iCloud again because you collapsed that one. So go down there and open that one. Perfect. Now, on top of that, you also have the downloads missing. See that? Right. So let's go ahead and find it. The best way to find it in this case, since you don't have, let's do it this way. Let's double click on the Macintosh hard drive. Double click on it. Okay. So now go over here to users, double click. I'm just going to have to walk you through it. Okay. And then go to your name, Rod May, R-May. Okay. Now grab your downloads and drag it out. And put your mouse in between recents and applications, for example. Yeah, and let go. Perfect. And now you can click on it, and there it is. Now click on downloads. And there you are. Okay. And documents. Go to documents. And these are the ones that you have in Grid. Okay. So work with these. Now, you have two things. One that says Rod Max Mini and Rod document. Let's open to see what you have in this one. Can you open that little arrow? This little arrow. Okay, there's just Adobe. And then open this one. It's because of how we're doing this weird thing in a computer that's got many users and stuff. So these are files that you have on your computer, okay? Versus this one, we can just ignore. This one doesn't matter. You can, in fact, let's right click and get rid of it for now. Yeah, right click and move to trash. Okay, so now this is the stuff you have in your computer at home. We're gonna work with that, okay? All right, how are we doing here? All right, do you have your password and stuff? Go ahead and click on sign in. And let's see if it works. Okay. Oh, Phil, one more thing. Can you remember maybe to talk to me a little bit after class what you were saying about changing the email and your account? I wanted you to tell me that. Okay. All right, guys, I had to give a hint. So here's the thing. Rod had both things going on. Favorites was collapsed, but when we opened it, his downloads was missing. So I just went and helped him put his downloads out here again, okay? Now, the ones I wouldn't get rid of because they're not easy to drag out again are things like AirDrop or Recents, which are different. They're not folders of places, and I told you I would talk to you about Recents at the end. But you know what? I need to make sure while Susie is working with stuff, Josie, do you know this part enough to not pay attention, or you should pay attention, let her handle it, and then if I hope Susie's trying to sign into the iCloud on her computer that hasn't worked in the past. So, but let's try to focus over here, and then I'll give her a hand. So ideally, this tends to happen by mistake, and that's the only reason to teach it, because normally you don't want it collapsed. But if by mistake you happen to click there, and you go, where's all my stuff? Just know that it's not about clicking on the word iCloud. See, I'm clicking. It really is that little arrow, and that arrow doesn't show up until I put my mouse over there. See that? It's not there. So you're like, what happened? There's nothing there. As you hover over it, then you have something to click to open, and then you hover and you have something to, so I want you to practice closing and opening so you understand where your hand has to go when it's not there. Okay. Because things don't just all at once disappear. You might by mistake have trashed one or the other, but if they all disappeared, it's usually because they're collapsed. Okay. Expanded or collapsed. These little triangle thingies, they always mean open or close, right? All right. So let's go to our documents now. And we had them organized by name. And if you click on name a few times, remember it goes backwards. So you click on it again and it goes forward. So it's A to Z or Z to A. Yes, Rod?
Mhm.
With the what? No. No, rebooting wouldn't correct. This is, if you correct it, it'll probably open the way you left it. I mean, there's a chance, but for the most part, everything opens the way you left it on a computer. It assumes it's a choice you've made. Unless you reinstall or something like that, but it's crazy, you know, that would have to be because something's really on your computer really dead. But otherwise, no, these choices are choices that the computer respects because it thinks you truly closed it, and it stays closed until you open it. Okay. So now we're in documents. We're at the base level of documents. We have a bunch of mixed stuff. Some of you, as I said, some more than others. But when you have a lot like me, see, I have 103 items. That's worst case scenario. Why? Because what if I have something down here, very important document that's supposed to go in a folder way up there? It's kind of hard to you know, grab. I mean, you can. Let me show you. Say that very important document truly had to go up there. I could, worst case scenario, grab it, start taking it up, and then the moment the tip of my, I remember what mattered is the tip of my arrow. The moment the tip of my arrow touches the top of this window, it starts scrolling down, and sometimes it doesn't, it's not scrolling. Well, now, with my other finger, I am, look at my mouse, I am scrolling. I'm holding it down while I scroll. But that's not every mouse that can do that. That's the magic mouse. I don't know the regular PC mouse could do that. So I can scroll and move up, but for the most part, you might not be able to do that. So that's when this is like, well, how do I handle so much stuff? And this is when it does become kind of fun to have, easier to have the columns view. Now, the columns view is not going to help us in this mode because down here, I still have my very important document and it still has to go all the way up there into Adobe, for example, right? So the columns view isn't going to help us yet when I have so much loose stuff. So I'm going to do a cheat. I'm going to go back to view mode. First, I'm going to create a folder with all my loose stuff and call it to be organized or something like that. To organize. Organize me, whatever you want to call it, right? Or I can call it unorganized or whatever you want to call it, but it's where you put everything else. So I recommend, there's two folders I'm going to have everyone make. I'm going to have everyone make one that's called unorganized. No.
Unorganized?
No. And another one called miscellaneous. They are different things. Thank you for calling it miscellaneous, but there's the to be organized. We know that whatever's in there is a mess. And then there's your files, your taxes, the book you're writing, your quilt patterns. Who was it that one of you had patterns, knitting patterns? Oh, she's not there right now. She left the class. She was there a bit earlier. Sue, she has knitting patterns. Some people are into cooking, whatever it is that you have on your computer, right? You're going to have all of those, and you're going to have a folder called miscellaneous and a folder called unorganized. And why are they different? So we're all going to make the folder that's called miscellaneous and a folder called unorganized. And they are different because sometimes you find a knitting pattern, it goes into knitting patterns. You find a novel you're writing, it goes into novels you're writing. But what if suddenly you have a file out of the blue that doesn't fit into any of your places that make sense, you don't just leave it in unorganized. You have a folder called miscellaneous. There's a place for some things that just don't fit other stuff. You know what I mean? And so it is organized into miscellaneous. So every now and then I'll
Mhm.
find a cute quote or something and I will put a screenshot of it. And at first I didn't have anywhere to go. Suddenly I had 20 and I said, oh, I deserve a folder called quotes, right? So now I have a folder called quotes, but for a while they went into my miscellaneous, right? And then when you have too many of the same thing in your miscellaneous, you figure maybe it's time to make a folder for all those. That
Mhm.
if they are the same thing, like you never write recipes. But one time someone gave you a recipe you like, another time, and the next thing you know, you have 10 recipes. Well, then give it a folder called recipes, right? But
Mhm.
other than that, miscellaneous is a place for those one-offs. And I always give my example if I'm not a sewing person, I don't have sewing patterns on my computer. But during the pandemic, and I have it here, I downloaded sewing patterns for masks. They had nowhere else to go on my computer, but I tried like 5 different and they were all horrible. And then I found a pattern that really worked for my whole family. So then I made a ton of those. So I kept that pattern. But where in my computer is a place for patterns when I'm not a sewing person, but I didn't want to lose that pattern that I downloaded, is in my miscellaneous because it's organized, but I'm not going to make a folder called sewing patterns, right? At most, I might drop it in the health folder. So I have a health folder, for example. I could have dropped it in there, but instead I have it in a miscellaneous, right? So anyway, that's the difference between miscellaneous and to be organized. Does that make sense? So let's make those 2 folders, guys. The first folder I'm going to make, so everyone be in your documents. Make sure nothing is selected. I don't want to be inside of another folder. I'm literally just clicking on documents. And if you're not sure, click again like on desktop and then back on documents. And that'll for sure clear up any other selections that you might have had. Now you're clearly on that. And now, actually, let me share my entire screen. Because the only folders that are, if at all, slightly complicated to make are the ones that start at the base level when you have a lot of stuff. Now, if you guys don't have a lot of stuff, heed what I said before. If you have like 10 things and a lot of empty space, you can just right click and make a new folder right there. But for those of us who have a lot of stuff and there's no empty space in this first column, then I'm going to go up to the very top where it says Finder. See over there, Apple Finder, and go to File. I'm going to say New Folder. This is the only time I need to go all the way up there when I really have no space in my list to right click. So watch my screen, everyone. Don't do it yet. Well, and if you did it, that's fine. But watch what I'm going to show you about naming it. Because when I say new folder, that new folder is called untitled folder. So it's gone all the way down to the U. So if for chance you're not seeing your U, if you're up here, you might go, where did that untitled folder go? It's way down in the U's. Okay. So now we're going to change the name of this folder. And again, 3 different ways to change the name. If you like right clicks or 2 fingers down, that might be the easiest one. Right click, rename. But this is the key. Watch, watch, watch. Don't turn away. Everyone. When the name is lit up like this, it's lit up. You see that? Let me just show you again. That is the name of the file. When I right click and say rename, see how it kind of lights up? That means highlighted. Watch what happens if I were to just click in there now. Is that lit up now? No. Now I have the word untitled folder, and if I write something in there, it's in the middle of the word untitled folder, right? If I click on it, and then I right click and say rename, and then I have a name like that, then I have to click, then I have to delete, then I have to make sure I delete that, and then I delete from there, and it takes me forever, right? None of that is necessary. Watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to right click, rename, and then I beg you, hands off your mouse. Go straight, when my name is lit up, it is highlighted. When something is highlighted, it disappears the moment you click, which is good and bad. But the moment you click on any key, I'm going to hit any key, I hit the J, the whole untitled folder, yada, yada, garbage that I put in there disappeared and replaced by the letter J. Okay. So now I'm going to put some garbage in there again. So look how now, oh, it started with a J, so it went all the way up to my J. So there we go. So right click rename and then just write what you want it to be. So I'm going to write unorganized or to be organized. I'm going to write to be organized. So I made that. Now watch. I'm going to hit return or enter, or I'm going to click away somewhere neutral. Return or click somewhere away. So I'm going to hit the return. Boom. Where did it go? To the T. This confuses people at first, right? So remember what you called it. There it is under the
Alphabetical.
T. Now, there is another solution to this, things going back and forth so much when you're making folders. We could also go and click on by kind.
Mm,
When you click on by kind, all your folders line up at the top, and then you start with alphabetical sense. By kind, alphabetical. So first you have alphabetical Adobe, Photoshop, then PDF, then GIF, then GIF. But for now, it might be easier to see my folders. If I make a new one right now, I'm going to make another new folder, file, new folder. It'll be right there. So I'm going to call this one miscellaneous, and I'm going to hit return. Do you see what I mean? Just where we're making folders, it might be easier to organize by kind, so you don't have to be following all those weird places the names go. And for organizing stuff, you could just now grab here and start putting up there. So it makes it easier if you are going to go one by one, right? To have them organized by kind, because now you have your folders right there and you can go paper bowls. Oh, that goes under my miscellaneous. Boom. Funky guitar. Oh, that goes under whatever, right? I'm just dropping stuff anywhere right now, as you can tell. In fact, I'm gonna, because I don't have any. How about crop and straight? Oh, that one goes under my classes, right? I'm cut. So in a way, having it organized by kind helps you have all your mess down there and all your good stuff over there. Now, I'm going to wait until everyone has the folders to be organized and miscellaneous, because other thing that we can do, and this is what I'm going to show you, I'm going to do it and undo it. Now that I have it organized that way, I'm going to select every one of my disorganized files, starting with crop and straighten. Select it, scroll down, scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. Hold down the shift key and choose my bottommost one. So that's like select everything. Remember, click, shift, click. We practiced the other day. Now I'm going to put everything in my to be organized. I'll do this again, so don't worry. You don't need to. I put everything in the to be organized. Boom. My files, I can now go by name. My folders are in the order by name. And now, watch how much easier it'll be. I mean, that was okay, Another thing that now, if I go into column view mode, right? Then I can click on to be organized. Here they are, and here are my folders. Now I can say, okay, save edited numbers. Oh, that goes into here. Boom. And Apple Home. Oh, that goes into there. Boom. And Screen Farm to Table. That goes into there. Boom. Does that make sense? Chicken stock. That must go in my recipes. There it goes. Boom. Does that make sense?
mm,
You've got a folder you're working out of while you put everything away. That way, or in your list view, organized by kind, and it kind of gives you that same idea where you have all your, let me go to over here and by kind, I need to be in my documents folder, list view, and by kind, which since now all my stuff is in that folder called to be organized, it's not showing up there, but I'm going to go ahead and take it away. And I'm going to put these back in the general documents folder. And so then this is plan B, okay? By kind.
mm.
So the files are there. And then I just go, okay, where does crop go? It goes in there. Where does this go? It goes in there. Now, what about if I have subfolders? Remember, Julie, that if you open, I don't want to just drop it in miscellaneous. What if these are recipes? I open up recipes and it turns out I have some organization in there. I have appetizers, breakfast, cocktails, entrees. When I open entrees, I have loose stuff. Other times when I go to desserts, I have cakes, cookies, and ice cream, right? So maybe over here, I find, maybe this is creme brulee, whatever. So I open this and I know it'll go into recipes. So I open my recipes and I open my desserts, because I know in desserts I have a couple of different ones. And this is my creme brulee. I grab my creme brulee and I take it and drop it right where it needs to go. Does that make sense? Or, once again, I'm in documents mode. I'm in columns. And, oh, I don't have it in the folder now. But if I had, yeah, I need to put the things in there to be organized. So once again, you choose which way you prefer. I have to admit that after years of doing this, I do everything in list view. But I do also agree that when you are new to this process, columns view is really comfortable. So if I have something that goes in the recipes folder, what would I do right now? If I drop it into recipes, I don't see cookies and cream and whatever, desserts, cookies and cream. Does that make sense? So in this mode, they say that this is, I don't know, green fondant for a cake. If I drop it in recipes and I remember what we said about holding, because it needs to go into recipes, but I want to put it in the right place of recipes. So if I drop it right now, boom, it just goes into recipes, right? So I'm going to undo. No, I want it to go into desserts. So watch. And this is for more advanced. Some of you guys might get it at the first level. That's all I need. For those of you who've been doing this for a while, this is like more of an advanced thing. I'm going to grab it. I'm going to hold recipes and hold. It switched. Then I go into desserts and I hold. It switched. And then I go, oh, this was a cake thing, and I drop it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Mhm.
That hold, like when you use it on purpose, it's useful. You're waiting for it to open. Tick, tick. It's like 2 seconds. Oh, it opened up. Okay, now inside of that, now it opened up. Oh, here's where I drop it. I'm going to do that
Mhm.
again. So in the to be organized, I'll grab something I need down a couple of levels. So I'll point to the main folder. It's like 2 seconds. Okay, now point to desserts. There it is. See? Point to it. And then you go.
Mm.
Okay? It's like a beat. If you would just go like that, then it opens up. And then it drops in the right place. Okay? Now I undid that. Which is why, even to organize things, it's best if you start with it in a to be organized folder, because from folder to folder, it's easier than loose. Now, let's all make those to be organized and miscellaneous folders. All right, so I'm going to walk you through that whole process again. And I'm going to redo mine. And I want everyone to, I'm going to move my to be organized and my miscellaneous to the trash. And here we go. First of all, make sure not to have anything selected. Because if I make a new folder with this selected, watch for a second if you want. With travel selected, depending, if you're inside of documents, it'll still do it in documents. But if travel was selected, or if you were in columns view and travel was selected, if you're in columns view, that new folder would be created inside of travel. Since you're in documents, it got created in there. Does that make sense? Let me show you this again. In this mode, list view mode, if I make a new folder from here, it gets created in documents. But if I'm in columns mode, and let me find the recipes again, because I have quite a few levels in there. If I'm in recipes mode, right? And I happen to be selecting cocktails right now. And I wanted to see how documents is selected. So if I wanted to make a folder in documents right now, watch where it'll go. I see documents selected. I mean, this is documents after all, right? If I go and say file, new folder, it got created inside of cocktails because I had gone down the rabbit hole, so to say. Does that make sense? So you have to be careful where you are when you create it. If you are in column view, you have to be in documents with documents selected with nothing blue here, then it'll be created in documents, or just be in list mode. So I'm just kind of, usually I teach one or the other. I'm going to go to list mode now. I've shown you both, but I'm going to stick to list mode for a little bit while we make our folders. Then we're going to switch to columns view, because when you're in columns view, it's actually easier to make folders. So let's do the hard one first. The hard one is in list mode. So be in list mode. You don't have to be in kind, but if you are in kind, it'll make your life a little bit easier. So I would recommend be in kind. And we can talk a little bit later about how to get you in here for now. Okay. Just,
Yeah, keep going. I'll try.
but you can use the class files that I had given you to practice with class files. So in the downloads, we have this. Hadn't I downloaded for you the folder? Oh, maybe you got rid of it. It's not here. So you don't have it. I had downloaded some files for people.
I think if I,
Yeah, it's okay.
all my download for homework are gone. But it did come rid of
Okay, well, but your home and this computer are not connected right now, so it doesn't matter at all. Okay, so then,
keep going.
yeah, no, I'm gonna do this really quickly because I want you to, oh, go ahead and sign in. Oh, it's memorized, so maybe I can sign in for you. That's good. Okay. I'm just gonna download them for you and then. Oh, I don't like this one. And that way you can practice. I had thought we had all downloaded the class files, so. Drive. Shared drives. Macintosh shared drives. Right click. Download. Okay. So now I'm going to close out of this and page. And now in your downloads folder in a little bit. Oh, did I leave the page too soon? Oh, don't tell me I left the page too soon. Click download. Okay, I'll wait when this finishes, you'll have files. Okay. All right, sorry, I had to sort, there's a computer that needed some files. Okay, guys. So everyone, let's go into the documents folder and click on organize by kind. Okay. Now, let's go to file, new folder. And the new thing that appears over there called untitled folder, we don't touch it, we don't click, we don't anything. We go straight to the keyboard and we write to be organized or whatever name you want to give it. And I'm going to make a typo in the middle of it. And then I'm going to hit return. And then when I look at it, I go, oh no, I put the wrong name on it, which happens a lot. Okay. Okay, so the files are here. Here we go. Yeah. Okay, so here is fake files for you to work with called documents. So now go to Finder and say new folder and called to be organized. Okay. What's that? Mute. Someone is talking. I don't hear them. Do you hear someone talking? Oh, got it. Okay. Can y'all hear me? Rodney, do you need a hand from me? Someone need a hand? What's happening? Oh. In here. Yeah. Well, yeah. 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 Okay. Everyone created the to be organized. Now I called mine a to be organized. So what do I do with it if I mess it up? Because you might have not gone straight to the keyboard. You might have deleted the name and started it again. Okay, so hang in there. So I right click and I rename it and I just try again. Instead of getting in there and trying to just try again, right? To be Or now I'm gonna make only one mistake. Nized. To be organized. Before I was better to rewrite the whole thing because I had made such a mess, but now I can right click, rename, and just put my mouse right there where it's missing an A, click in there and say A, right? So it depends if it's better to rewrite the whole thing or to just target the place. But when you have a lot of mess getting in there and getting rid of 3 letters, putting 3 more, just write the whole thing again. That's the best way. So we have that one. Now somebody said no, they didn't get theirs. Give me a yes at home if you created your to be organized. If you already created your to be organized, go ahead and make file new folder and now make the miscellaneous one. Now, while I'm helping people with this, create other folders you think you'll need. And at this point, even if they're internal folders, if it was what I was saying, when we're in the columns mode, it's so easy to create a folder inside of a folder inside of a folder, right? But watch me. What if right now I wanted to make a folder inside of receipts? I could very easily double click receipts and then make it in here, right? Or if you're starting up your like your organization, if I go into financial, I already have the whole like taxes, invoices, whatever. But I might have others. If I go into travel, I have some other organizations that I've done in the past right there. But so think about that. What if I'm going to put my my art right now? So I'm going to make a folder called art, right? Now inside of art, I want to put paintings and photographs separately. Now, not just photos of my family. I'm talking about like art, whatever. So it's a bit different than regular organization. So I could either go into columns mode, do it easily, whatever. Or if I'm in the flow and I just do that right now and I just make a new folder and call this one fine art photos for, oh my God, I can't write. I'm like writing like this, fine art photos. And then I'm going to make another one, which by the way, for those of you who like shortcuts, I could do command and paintings. I can just make them right now. And how hard is it now to go, oh, paintings goes in art. I drop it in there and find it photos go in art and drop it in there. Does that make sense? So it's not too big of a deal. When I go to art, there they are. But I could have also, if I had been doing this in columns view, then I could have opened art, and over here, if I like right clicks, I could now say right click, new folder, and call this one ceramics, for example. I can make it right in there. What if I go into my paintings and I want to do landscapes inside of paintings versus portraits? So I'm going to paintings and I go right click in here. See, inside of paintings, right click, new folder. And I call this one landscapes. Right? And then right in here, I right click and I say, what did I just say? Portraits. Portraits, right? So then I've made them already where they have to go. Does that make sense? Yeah. With the columns mode. So it's up to you, depending if you want to just do them all at once or do them once you're in there. But right now, in this mode, if I go into art, I already have ceramics, fine art, and under paintings, I already have landscape and portraits already there because I did it in the columns mode. Or I just start putting all my stuff now. So I'm going to make a classes folder right now. Okay. I'm going to say file, new folder, classes. And then I'm going to think of, well, I should probably have a folder for Mac classes. And I should have a folder for my Photoshop classes. Right? So I'm just making my folders. And then I'll grab this and I'll put it into classes. And I'll put my Mac and I'll put it into classes. So either way, not really complicated. Does that make sense? It all works. What if I have one called handouts that I want to have? Let's see, Mac handouts. Right? So if I put it right now into classes, it's going to drop at the same level as Mac, right? But it should be inside of Mac. Does that make sense? So I can just open classes and then just drag it inside of Mac. There you go. Now it's in the right place. So either way, it all works out. But now the question about this is practice. So choose one way, do it as much as you can. Choose the other way later. You'll discover which one you prefer. But let's try list we've to start with. Make folders for all those things you think in your computer would be good to have a folder for. And later, we're going to start putting things in them. But for now, stuff that you brought from your desktop, maybe you want to make a folder from the desktop, like because you're not, up until now, you haven't been wanting to take them from the desktop. You're like, I haven't taken them from the desktop, but I won't tell her. Make a folder called from the desktop and now put all your desktop stuff in there before you dare organize it better. You want to do it that way. And then guess what? Then you can drag out a little shortcut from the desktop to your desktop again and poof, nothing really happened, right? So make the folders you think you might want, or I'm thinking about this one, or invitations, or reports, or whatever you have on your computer. Some of you guys don't have much on your computer because everything is worked online, like email or something, but whatever you have, organize it. And if not, I have files to download for you. And I'm going to walk around a bit. You guys at home, work on it. I'll see if you raise your hands if you need help.
Good question. I understand what you said. And I
Mhm.
have a lot. But for example, I have my desktop, and a desktop. So that's just a quick access.
That desktop and this desktop should be identical. Yes, they are. Okay. So it's just, see how when you click on them, there's no change. This is telling you where it's located, and this is an old grandfathered in shortcut. So you can get rid of this one if you were to, and if not, you can bring it back. But if you get rid of this one, there's no difference. Now it's there and you don't have to, because it can get complicated, confusing to have to, but it was exactly the same spot. The first one had been grandfathered in before, and this one's now there because of when you put it in the cloud.
Now I can get this, make a folder called desktop and then put these in there as you suggested, right?
Mhm.
Okay, and also.
Don't call it desktop, that's confusing. Call it from my desktop. Like to make, if you just call it desktop, then that one's desktop, the other one's desktop, and which one's your real desktop?
Okay.
Just say my desktop.
And then when you make a favorite, when you're, like you said, when you have documents,
Mhm.
and you draw over here.
Yeah.
here, it doesn't take it off the document. right?
No,
Just the
not at
copy.
all. So I'll do it and undo it. Say that I put that in there and let go.
And then if I go to documents.
Right? If you go to documents,
it's still there.
it's still there. But if I click on pest control, I'm right in there, which is in documents. If I go back to documents, there's pest control. So now I'm going to remove it because remove from sidebar. That's not remove, whatever. It's just remove from sidebar. That's what you want to do. Okay. Cool. Anyone else who has questions about things? How can I give you a hand, Rod? How's it going?
Okay, I'm just trying
All
to
right.
think, thanks to put in my tool.
Okay. Yeah, you might not need too many folders if you don't have too much stuff. If you need, you have, originally we had downloaded some class files on your computer. If you go to downloads, are they still there? Yeah, you can open that and just in the downloads, just to learn, just to practice,
Okay,
open downloads with that little arrow. Open the class files download and then the miscellaneous, open up miscellaneous. Yeah, open that little arrow. And then these are all loose files that don't put them in your documents. You don't want to mix them with your real ones because this is just stuff that I
Right.
brought you. But you can open this up a bit and just make some folders in here to practice here. Let me, just to learn, because yeah, you don't have that many folders of your own or files of your own to organize. So let me give you this. Let me do that. Here, so now play with this and ignore that and just look at the stuff and start making any folder, call it whatever, cars, whatever. Those are all files that are meaningless, that are to be trashed. Don't move them into your documents or they'll mix with yours. But practice making a folder, changing its name, putting things in it. You know what I mean? And here, all stuff that you can then throw away. Does that make sense, Rod? All right, how are we doing, Gigi? These are your own. Okay. For those of you who have good organization, go deeper, right? And begin to, okay. So then go to the folder itself. This one, that's that, yeah, there. Right click and rename. Okay. Now, guys, I want you to make at least 2 to 5 folders. And if you don't need any more folders because you're already organized, still make 3 or 4, invent a new one. Start making a folder called recipes and put stuff in it where you can. The reason I like the recipes one is because there's categories, right? We all understand. So to learn to put folders inside of folders, it's good to make a folder called recipes, and inside of that put, think of a menu and put, breakfast, desserts, soups, and then inside of that put drinks or whatever. Even if you later select that entire thing and delete it, but the whole point is the practice of creating the structure. Yeah. Yeah.
The first time it said something about a folder, but now I don't know how to get back to this column.
Okay, you're in this mode where it's bright lit. It's ready for you to name it something.
Okay.
So first name this something. What would go?
I'll say,
Just call it something.
I'll say book.
Okay, perfect.
No, this isn't going to be under breakfast. That's a new folder, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I can never spell correctly when someone's watching me.
We'll return.
So these two are separate. See,
Yeah.
they're not inside of each other, so that's fine. If you were to want something inside of books like mystery or fiction, or in breakfast, if you want different things, then you would create it in there. Perfect. Now that one is inside of books. And you know it's inside of books because it's in color, or you can look in here
Oh, okay.
to make sure that it's now. Unfortunately, books is inside of recipes right now, so later we're gonna have to move that one out.
Okay.
But go ahead and, well, first make categories like biography, put
Yeah,
some
mystery.
categories to books. But that one's lit up, ready for you to write into it.
right, yeah.
So go ahead and write. Well, since you had started this one, now it's writing in there, so you'll have to click on there. Yeah, so now write.
What I found is that I had always seen Zoom on my application.
Zoom, no, okay, that's a folder that Zoom makes. Zoom is an application, but it makes a folder in your documents where it puts like people download notes or lists or stuff from Zoom. So if you open it,
Should I open?
yeah,
Or just?
no, just
or
open the little arrow,
Oh,
see what's in it.
oh, I see.
And see, these are like meetings you've attended, that certain recordings from 2020. So it's all just rotting around in your computer. So you can select those 3 and delete them if you don't need them.
Oh,
It's, you can delete that. It's a folder created by the application to things that are downloaded. It downloads them into that.
So
So it's not the application, it's fine.
I thought, that's why I'm confused. I thought that anytime I looked at my applications, which is a while now,
Mhm.
that I didn't find Zoom anymore.
Huh.
So,
Go to applications and let's look for some,
and so then I.
all the way to the bottom.
It's not there.
Okay,
So
so that's fine because those are from 2020. You must not have it now. And those were old files from 2020. The application's gone. Those are files. It's not the application. Let me
These are
explain again.
files.
These are applications,
Right.
but go to documents.
Yes, and see Zoom there.
This is not the application. This is a folder that Zoom
Right.
created in
Right.
2020 when at some point you had to download some stuff. Did you run a Zoom yourself?
No, I never have run into
Okay.
Zoom.
So then click on this Zoom folder and delete everything that's in it because it's unnecessary, which is just these 2 things. They're from
Okay, so-
2020.
So wait a minute. Did I ever see the Zoom application under applications?
If you've ever used Zoom from your,
I always do,
yeah.
but
so
the
then,
thing
yeah.
is, where is my application? Because now I see an AI workshop, Zoom, and I wonder like. how did
Where
it
do you
get-
see the AI workshops?
It comes
In your calendar. Where do you see
No,
AI workshops?
when I'm going on to a Zoom, like. for
Okay, go
example,
ahead and get rid of this to start with. These are just files. Say right click on the folder called Zoom.
Community Hangout, and I'm just wondering what they are.
Oh,
What they are.
well then, open it up and look and see what's in there. No. You would have to open the folder to see what's in it.
2020. and it's
Yeah, no, that's just
2025,
seeing the
so-
cover. So there's this, it's meeting, it's click on, this is what it's
Oh,
speaking.
okay, over here.
It's the text that you've saved the text, the chat from that meeting. All right. Hi, guys. How's it going at home? Is everyone working at least on those two? Ideally, by now you've created more. I'm looking at the time.
Deanna,
See?
I'm in good shape as far as what you're covering right now. I'm trying to free up iCloud space. When I delete messages, text messages, does that save them for a particular amount of time where I need to go there then and delete those permanently?
Yeah. So guys, give me a second. Everyone who's here, pay attention for a second. I'm going to start answering questions. If you're done, you've created a bunch of stuff, you might want to listen. I'm going to teach some extra stuff. But I also first want you to organize your documents, right? So if you're struggling, I'll stop answering these questions because I want you to organize. So if you need help with organizing, that's the name of the game. But since no one's asking me stuff, I'm happy to answer other stuff. Does that make sense? But so keep working on organizing. If you're like done organizing, you don't need help, and you look at me, and by the time I see everyone looking, I'm like, oh, I might as well continue with something new. Does that make sense? But if you're chatting on something else, just turn around and say I'm done so that I'll know to move on. Okay? I do want you guys to move things around and to ask me for help, and I'll hover over you. I'll do everything you need. Otherwise, I'm happy to answer Marta's question. All right. So I just wanted to clarify that for you guys at home too. Okay? I want you to be organizing your stuff and making folders and folders within folders and folders within folders and moving stuff to those folders. And I want something to go wrong so that you have to ask me. Other than that, so Marta.
Yes.
So interrupt me is what I'm trying to say. Interrupt me. Okay. So yes, messages. In the past, it used to just when you deleted it. But now, like most apps, now it goes into a recently deleted folder. And if it's in a recently deleted folder, it sits there for 30 days before it completely deletes itself. Okay.
Okay.
So if you really want to delete the stuff, you would have to go to the recently deleted messages before it really leaves your space. Okay. So I'm going to show you my entire screen here. Yeah. So I'm going to open the messages here. So this is messages. Let me get rid of that so I have only one thing at a time. So you can go over here to file and go to view and view your recently deleted. So I'm opening the messages app, right? And I'm making sure it says messages next to the apple. Then under view, I would see my recently deleted messages. And then I can select that one and then right click and delete it again, and then it deletes forever. Or I did not meant to delete it, and then I can recover it. Okay.
Okay. That's weird because as you've been working on this, because I had previously organized all of my documents because I thought you were probably going to be taking us in that direction. And so that was done. And I've been trying
Some
to.
people are A students, can you tell?
I knew you were going there, so.
I know. That's right.
But today I've been deleting text messages. And when I take the steps that you just took me to, it says one conversation selected.
Did you go to view recently deleted?
Yes. So on day one, it says one conversation selected, 1,128 messages selected. They will start being permanently deleted one day from now. So I could.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I'm left with one message selected. It was literally one day from now. It means that it's been here.
What says one conversation? Oh, I know why. Maybe. I don't know. One conversation selected.
Why don't you
and
share
then
your screen? Here's the point. This is a fake account and I don't get text into it. So the few messages that I have deleted are now more than 30 days old. So I only have one left that's going to disappear. It's telling me in a day. So by tomorrow I won't have any. So it's easier if you share yours so I can see on yours where you
Okay.
probably have regular text. This is by being a fake account. The school account that I use isn't my really regular text and no one texts me to that account. So go ahead and share your screen. You started
Okay,
sharing when I was
so-
still sharing, so you need to try again.
Oh, try again. Okay.
Because I was still sharing when you started sharing, so I had to stop mine first. Okay. Can you move to the left side? So like you made it bigger, but I don't see your sidebar. So I actually need you to move. Make your window a bit smaller first, because see, now you're
here
not
we
seeing
go.
the window. Don't move it to the left again. Make it smaller to the right because you don't want to lose stuff. Go.
Make it smaller to the
Yeah,
right.
but now you have to move it to the left again to get the right side. It's like, I always
Oh,
want
I
you guys
see.
to know to, so move it all the way to the left. Grab your right side and make
There
it
it is.
smaller.
Okay.
And then never lose sight of your sidebars in any app that you're in, because the sidebar is where it all is.
Okay.
Okay, keep moving into the, and I don't see it yet. There. Okay, so this one at the top, click on the no, it says one conversation selected. There are 1,200 messages between you and Blas that are in the deleted. Okay,
Yes.
so it's going to start deleting backwards. Go to the one underneath where there's only one message. This one is easy. You deleted it maybe 2 days ago, so it still has 28 days to go before it gets deleted permanently. Because when you deleted it, it went into this place, which now is on a countdown. So this one will disappear forever in 28 days. Tomorrow it'll say 27. The day after that, it'll say
I
26.
see.
If you
Okay.
scroll all the way down, so now start scrolling down, down, down. And
I've
you
been
should
doing a lot of
see
deleting.
see, yeah. So now you'll see that these you deleted, I guess, 9 days ago. So now it's only got 1 day left down there. Does that make sense?
Perfect. Okay.
Now, if you don't want them to wait, you can select them and then say delete again, and it'll delete immediately. So now it deleted right now.
Perfect.
You don't
Perfect.
have to wait on all of those that say 28 days. You don't have to wait 28 days. It's just gonna, if you do nothing, it'll take 28 days. Now you can select many at a time, click, shift, click all the way to the top. So you don't have
Oh,
to do
okay.
it one at a time.
Great. Okay.
So click on the bottom one now
I
click-
did.
and go all the way to the top. And
Oh, it
now
didn't. Let me go back again.
shift to the bottom
There we go.
and then delete them. 4,400 messages will be deleted right now. You can't recover them if you do this.
That's okay.
All right.
I know
And
I'm
now you
good.
don't have to wait the good old 30 days because you just went ahead and they're deleting them now.
Yay.
Boom, they're gone.
Okay. Thank you so
right.
much. I appreciate
You're
it.
welcome. Yeah, hold on because Kristen's hand raised before Blas's hand. So yes, Kristen.
So what does that do for her
Oh,
phone?
why is my video? It empties it out of all those messages, which by the way,
Which does
part-
what though? I mean,
hold
it's
on.
good for memory.
Hold on. How many of you guys send texts that are just text back and forth, like I'm coming tomorrow, get me milk? Yes, no. Those don't weigh much. But how many of you guys send photos back and forth, videos back and forth? Those weigh a lot. And not only do they weigh a lot, but they, if it's a photo that you took that you have in your photo album and you message it, now you have it twice in your phone. It stays in your photo album and it stays in your messages. What if you sent the same photo to 4 people? You sent it to your mom, to your sister. Instead of sending them as a group one time, you sent the photo once to your mom, once to your son, once to your friend, once to your doctor. Now you have that photo 5 times, once in your photo album and 4 times in your messages. So the answer to Kristen, what happens is if you're just deleting text messages, yeah, it takes a bit of space out. But if you're deleting messages that carried a ton of photos and art and videos and stuff like that, then you're making a ton of space. Does that make sense?
I was just able to free up 1 gigabyte today since the time that we started today's class to right now deleting those.
Awesome. Okay.
And a lot of them, I'm focusing on more so on images, on
Yeah,
photos.
so I'm going to show you a different way that you can do that too. That was one way to do it, the way she just did it, which is from the messages app that I had showed her. But there's another way to just go and look at the images of your messages so that you can just delete the images. Maybe you keep the text, but you delete the image itself. Okay, so I'm going to show you that in a minute. Let me look at the time. All right. Today I wanted it to be about organizing. On Wednesday, I'm going to show you different ways to organize.
We can't hear you.
What do you guys say? It's about every half hour or so? I don't know. No, because you've only asked me twice and the class is longer than that, so it's not, it's irregular. That one was shorter, others took longer. Okay. So one way, so I want you to organize your stuff. So that's the most important thing for me right now. I want to show you also how to get stuff back onto the desktop if you really want it and stuff like that. So, and I have a bit, about 20 minutes left today, and then we have all of Wednesday. But next Monday, we're talking Time Machine. So everyone, hopefully you've purchased it by now. We're talking Time Machine. So we really have today and next Wednesday, 2 meetings from now to work on organizing. So I want you guys to be hard at work organizing, hard at work organizing. But part of organizing is also going, well, if my computer is messy, I organize it, fine. But if my computer is full, what do I get rid of first? Because I can get rid of 2,000 small files and it's equivalent to one big file. So which are those big files and how do I find them? That kind of stuff. Does that make sense? So it's the organization that has to do with tidiness, which is kind of what we're doing now, finding your stuff, which is what we're doing now. But then there's well, how do I find out what is worth more getting rid of than others? And I'm going to share my screen. If you have access to in the Finder, if we could say that all your stuff were easily seen in these views, then the size would help, right? But the reason it doesn't help so much, if I organize by size, it doesn't help as much because of our folders. Because maybe I have tiny 2,000 tiny files in here, for example, and I only have one in there, but that one weighs a ton more than 2,000 in there. But it's hard to tell. I would have to open each folder to see if inside. So there's a much easier way than using any of these systems. I'm going to show it to you. So if you're organizing, I want you to keep organizing between here and Wednesday. Here's the promise I want to extract from everyone, because there is more organizing work. There is the how do I get things back on the desktop? How do I make the shortcuts? How do I do? There's a ton more organizing work that we need to do. That I'm going to do on Wednesday, but I'm going to get a promise. I don't want to get into that until you guys have organized your files. And I'm not saying you need to organize every single file. And if something's left in it to be organized, you can't come to class. Not at all. But ideally, you're well on your way to creating those folders and subfolders and putting things in them. And for some of you guys, it might take 3 weeks. And for some of you, it might take 3 hours. But I want to make sure that the process, even if you take 3 weeks on it and 3 hours, if you have 3,000 things, it'll take you longer than if you have 30 things. So if you have any questions about the process you have between here and Wednesday to test it. And on Wednesday, I'll spend as long as I need on questions about things that organizing that didn't work or that you're not sure about, or I tried this, or could you tell me how to do it that way? Does that make sense? So you've got work between here and Wednesday. Organize until you come up with something that isn't working. Write it down, take notes, take screenshots, whatever, so that on Wednesday morning or Wednesday at 1, the first thing we do is deal with what didn't work around organizing, okay? You all promise to work between here and Wednesday on organizing? Okay. So now I'm going to show you a different thing, which is, well, how we, of all those nicely organized files, how do I know which one is too big, too small, too old, too new? So it's a whole different, completely different approach. And those of you who've taken my classes before, it's such an important approach that sometimes I approach things the other way. And it depends. Some people come to me with computers that are groaning under the weight of their files and can't like work with them. So usually I start with this stuff and then I go into organizing. And what's the point of organizing if you need to get rid of a lot of it, right? So both are so important, right? It's not that one is more important than the other. So now I'm going to open my system settings. And this leads a little bit into the conversation I was just having with Marta about messages, and Kristen asked, what are you getting rid of? Because this is the other process. So system settings, everyone. Open up your system settings. Let's go to it now. System settings. And Susie, yours, of course, since you haven't signed in and won't have a lot, but you have some biggish files in that folder that I gave you. So system settings. And the Apple, you can find it there. Yep, there we go. Everyone look at their neighbors. Make sure everyone has system settings up. Do you have it up, Carol? Okay. So what we're talking about is stuff in our computer. Stuff in our computer is basically going to always be, I know. That's my 15-minute warning. Stuff in our computer is storage. So the word storage is, where do we store the stuff in our computer, okay? So if I go over to general, storage, got it, perfect, thank you. So general, and then storage. And when you first come to general and storage, your computer's gonna think up here, and it's gonna run, especially if you have a lot of stuff. And then after a while, it's gonna come up with a little color scheme where it's gonna show you how much of what kind of things you have in your computer. Now, this being a new school computer, looks like I have a lot of applications and almost nothing else. See how there's like little color strips? In my real computer, I have a whole section of yellow, a whole section of green, a whole section of blue. Each one is a different thing. But it's so little that I can hover over here and it says I have 1.8 gigabytes of documents. And there I have 900 megabytes of photo. But as I said, in a real desk with real stuff, you would have probably more of each thing. It gives you an idea of what you have. Okay? All good with that? For those of you using school computers, you also have like other users and stuff because other people use our same computers. But at home, you should not have that. Okay. And so basically up here was the whole, I am using up 156 gigs of my 494. Okay. And that's what has color. This is the empty space. The space that's available is in this light gray at the end of the tail. So some of you have a big tail like this one, no problem. But some of you guys are like down to your last third of your computer, or, oh my goodness, the last fourth of your computer, or even worse, the last fifth or the last eighth. You're in real trouble, right? If you're getting to that point. After the 1/3 of your computer, you should begin to raise your eyebrows and do something about it. By the time you get to the 1/4 or the 1/5 of it, your computer's groaning, running slowly, beginning to fail, right? Because it's too full. It needs space. Sometimes if you try to open a file that's so big that it occupies all that empty space, it just won't open. And right now in one of my Photoshop classes, she couldn't proceed with the class. She had to open a file that was bigger than than the disk space that was empty. And this computer just needs it. Imagine a refrigerator where there's a wall in front of it. You try to open the door and it won't open because there's a wall there, right? You can't get to it until you move that wall to open it. That's kind of the thing. You need space. Those drawers that open only halfway because you've got something in the way. That's what's happening if you don't have space for that to open. Okay. So here we go. In this place to manage storage, first of all, this is where you can choose to space save by turning on things that have been more in your trash more than 30 days. Does that make sense? Because you won't have like big things rotting in your trash. It'll do the countdown. Now, if you go and empty it sooner, good for you. But at the very least, at the very most, it'll stay there for only 30 days. When it hits 30 days of being in your trash, that item will get turned off. And again, it's not, it will be deleted. It's not that everything deletes every 30 days, just as you might have seen through Marta, it's a countdown. The item that was deleted 28 days ago has 2 days left. The item that was deleted 4 days ago still has 26 days left before it gets deleted, okay? So it's a daily countdown on stuff. So if you turn this on, are you sure you want to empty it automatically? That's it's safe. It's a whole month for you to repent. You know what I mean? It's not like right now it's going to empty out on you. Okay. So I'm going to leave it turned off because I need to demo this, because once you turn this on, it starts happening, and then when I show it again next time, I won't have anything in my trash. But that's a good one that I recommend having on. Okay. Then for those of you who have things downloaded on your computer, which I don't know, most people just watch things streaming right now, but a lot of the times in the past, people would download things and then they would stay there forever. The show is watched, they forget about it, next thing they know. So if you say optimize movies and TV shows that you've already watched will disappear. So if that is one of you, then click on optimize. If you know that you watch stuff that you might have downloaded, click on that. And it'll basically move them out of your computer if they've already been watched, okay? Again, I'll leave it as an option for me to be able to show, but it's up to you. Now, some people like Susie over there, it's saying store in iCloud. So if your stuff is not on the iCloud, one of the options it gives you to save space is to store in the iCloud. I don't have that choice, but I'm looking at Susie's computer here, and because these computers don't have their stuff stored in the iCloud, she still has that choice available right there. Does that make sense? So any guys of you at home who also have your stuff on your computer, you probably see that choice there. You do, okay? So you don't need to turn it on. It's ideas, because why? If you don't have space on your computer and you put it in the cloud, literally what you see in the computer becomes much smaller. It takes up much less space. So if you're running out of space, one solution is put it in the cloud. That said, you need to have space in the cloud, right? So you might need to pay. Okay, so those are things that they recommend. Now, this is the important part. Look down here. It's showing me applications, documents, iCloud Drive, mail, messages. Martha, we just talked about messages. I'm going to show you that in a minute. But let me first show you what happens under documents. I'm going to go to documents here, and I'm going to click on this little I for info. So everyone do that before I click so that you know where to click. A little I for info next to the word documents. I for info next to the word documents. Y'all got it? That is interesting. Well, then click on applications. It doesn't matter. It'll bring you to the same thing, but how weird. Okay, say done. Maybe because you know what? Maybe because your documents are in the cloud and you don't have any really in this computer, even though they look that they're in here. Go to your Finder window for a second. Oh, you have it there. Oops. Yeah. Yeah. All your stuff is still in the cloud. If you want to bring it into this computer, you'd have to click on this little arrow and it would download. You still see it from here, but it's not living in this computer. So that's why when you go in there, you're not being offered the choice to see big file. You know what I mean? Yeah. Now click on iCloud Drive though, because your stuff is in the documents in the iCloud Drive. So click on that I. And yeah, no. So say done. That won't work. So just use the applications for this, or just watch. And it's because these computers are pretty empty. Okay. So guys, here we go. You watching? Everyone at home? You're here? Give me a yes if you found this spot. All right. Click on that I next to the word documents. Okay. So here we are. We're in a place where now it doesn't matter where the stuff is. It cares not at all. And this is that place where it's like you can look at all your files, but not based on where they are, but based only on their size. Now, on purpose, I've left some really big files in here. So when I go to large files, I have a goodly amount. Many of you might not have anything under large files. I don't know what number they consider large files. It has to be over a certain number. But these are the ones that are taking a ton of space. And I do my Photoshop classes, so I have a lot of them. And then this is a class recording, which is even bigger. It's 1 gigabyte. So it doesn't matter where it, watch my screen for a minute, you guys, everyone who's looking away. When I select one of them, what's appearing over here? The path. This one is living in my downloads folder. This one is in my HyFlex Photoshop that's in my downloads. Does that make sense? So it'll tell you where it is based on what we've been learning, right? But here, if they appear in the large files, it's just because they're large and they're saying, hey, wherever they are, did you know you have this large file out there rotting away? And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's true. Do I need this one anymore? No, I don't need this one anymore. Well, let's just delete it from here. It'll go in to that place and delete it from there. Does that make sense? So I'm going to go and careful. Be very careful when you delete from here. It does not go to your trash. It leaves your computer. If I delete from my Finder window, it goes into my trash. From my trash, I can recover it or not. When I use this feature, and now I say, I select it. It's a 1 gigabyte file. And I say delete. Are you sure you want to delete it? It'll be deleted immediately. Freeing a gigabyte of storage, you cannot undo this action. So it's giving me the warning of when I empty my trash. You see that? I'm like, yeah, I've been reserving this file for this moment. I'll go, yay, finally, delete. Okay. Boom. Like that. I just deleted one file and I got a gig. What's that? It's a DNG digital negative. It's files I use for Photoshop. Raw files. Hi, Barbara. Nice to see you. I can't hear you, but
It's nice to be seen. I'm so sick. I
Oh,
just
I can't-
woke
oh my
up
God,
again. I went,
Believe it or not, or else as you're doing it, if it
I'm muting you, Kristen. I can hear you sound sick. I'm sorry to hear that. Thanks for joining us for a little bit. We're almost done, so you can relax. Let me continue. Okay. So that's the large files, which really helps. In my case, I have a lot of large files because I'm a designer, photographer. I love large files. Every now and then I have to come in here and just reevaluate, do I need that file or not? Then it takes me to the other place that a lot of people have things rotting away in the downloads. I've already taken you to the downloads, remember? But it takes you to the downloads where if you didn't notice, you might have a lot of files that you can get rid of, right? And so then in this case, look how it's showing me the downloads. I can choose just like I do in file name, by kind, but in this case, I could choose by size. And then I can go ahead and choose, okay, this one is used, that one isn't worth it by size. And if I remember, if I delete it from here and hit delete, it is unrecoverable. Okay. The cool one is unsupported apps. Some of you guys have never gone here. Unsupported apps would be apps that have been installed in your computer, but that just don't work anymore. When you upgrade computers and you keep upgrading, there might be something left from 10 years ago, 4 years ago. People find things here all the time that they just can't use anymore because they're so old. The computer, they literally wouldn't run on this computer. Oof, the air
How did
conditioning
you
just
get
really
there?
started. It's hitting me full frontal. Let me this on. Okay. So in this case, if you see anything in here, just delete it. It's just an app that doesn't work on a Mac. Maybe there's, as I said, you might have when you installed a new Word version and you didn't delete the old one and suddenly the old one doesn't work anymore, that kind of stuff. Or there's system files that just don't work anymore because they are system files for like Sierra that you've kept through and then suddenly by the time you get to this one, they don't work. Yes, Kristen?
So the large files, I have a boatload of them and they're videos of demonstrations that I want to keep. Do you have a recommendation? And they seem to be pottery related, so that's helpful.
put them
Well-
on an external hard drive.
Yeah, so let me answer for a second. I only have 2 more minutes. I want to show you something else. one of the things is, did you take already my iLife class?
No.
Okay, the iLife class is where I handle all of the organizing of photos and videos and stuff like that.
Mm.
So it comes after Mac level 2. So when Mac level 1 finishes, Mac level 2 starts. When Mac level 2 finishes at the same time and day, iLife starts. That would be a good place. Otherwise, on Wednesday, when we talk files and stuff, you can ask me and I can help you a bit with that. Okay? But yeah, there's always someone who discovers stuff. Okay, and then if you're done with that, if you go all the way to file browser, that's really takes you back to your computer where you go onto your files. Okay, here's the other one I wanted to show you because I want you guys to explore this one. Give me a second, Barbara. I really want you guys to explore this one where a lot of people find a lot of stuff, just like Marta did. A lot of stuff that you didn't know that was hiding, making a lot of space in your phones and in your computers is under messages. So you have, when you click on messages, only, okay, listen well, Kristen was asking me earlier, and Marta was saying she was targeting the images. This only shows the images, not the texts themselves, but the images. All those images we send back and forth to each other, you receive inane little things to see before you die, and then you see this amazing photo of your granddaughter, like things that are important, things that are not important. They're all here. And they're organized by size. And you go, whoa, I had no idea this file was so big, right? So what if I want to see, what is that file? Hit the space bar, remember? Oh, that one. Do I need that file? Look at how big it is. And look at what kind of photo it is. I always keep this one here because it's obviously a worthless photo. And it's a big one. So I don't delete it to have this demo. Oh, and that's the time. Space bar. Remember what we did before? The quick preview is the space bar. You have to highlight it first. Then you click on this one, space bar. Oh, a bowl of soup. These are samples I keep because I need them, but you'll be surprised. You'll find some big stuff in here that people sent you that you're like, what? Now, if people sent them to you and you kept them, you saved them into your Photos app. Now you have them twice. If you didn't keep them and you want them, then keep them in. Again, I'll show you this on the phone next class. This is the one class where we use less the phone than any others. Then the Mac level 2 will use it a lot again. But still, go to your texts, find that photo. You go, oh, this is so important to me. I want to keep it. Then go to your phone, find that photo, and then hold it and save it. And it'll save into your Photos app. Then you can delete it from here. But anything that's here, especially when you look at the dates, these are, well, this computer just started September 3rd because they just set it up, so it doesn't have much older than that. But this, if you delete it from here, it deletes from your Messages app. That's it. So if when you saw it, you didn't think it was important enough to save onto your photos, then might as well delete it from here as well. People, when they delete, so I'm going to go, right now my Messages only has 71 megabytes. If you guys read this, over here, oh, I don't have it here. Megabytes, kilobytes is the tiniest one. Then comes megabytes. Then comes gigabytes. So here I have a ton in gigabytes and a few megabytes. Many of you guys will discover that you have hundreds of megabytes in the Messages, just the images alone. And when you click on them, you might discover that 27 of all those 71 was just one image. Yeah, so, yeah, so, good. Well, there you go. Now you can scroll through these. And if you decide that one of these, if this is homework for you guys, you look at this one, you go, I don't need this one. Well, guess what? Delete this one. You say delete on this one, right? Click delete or hit delete. It'll delete from your Messages and it's gone from your computer. But if you had saved it in your phone app, because it was an important one, it is still in your phone app. That's a place where a lot of people, and then the same thing with mail, only with mail, it's not so easy. If you go to mail, then you have to go to mail to find all your big files and stuff like that. You can't, but for the Messages, you can delete them from here. Anyway, class is over. I just wanted to point that one out. From the system settings, storage, handle the Messages. That's the best place to handle the Messages. Because if you, in your own Messages, scrolling forever, each person to find who sent you a big file, who knows? Maybe it was one time only that someone found you a big file and you'll never scroll back far enough to find it, but you'll find it in here. And that's a big hidden space of stuff. All right.
Thank you
class is
so
over,
much.
You guys, I'm sorry to keep you a few more minutes. Work for Wednesday. And if you have any questions, please hang out here and ask me. And Barbara, you were trying to speak and I kind of shut you up because I wanted to finish this piece. So if you have something to say, now you can tell me.
I found it. It was the storage.
Okay. You found it. Okay. So
Thank you.
go.
I'm sorry.
bye, Yolanda.
I'm-
Haven't heard from you in a bit. For everyone who haven't heard in a while, hopefully you're all okay. Okay, I'm going to turn off this class Zoom, but I still have some questions here. So I'm going to just end the Zoom. Bye, guys.
Okay, bye.